What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Tuesday night. It is Tuesday Night Titans, episode 137 for your Tuesday, March 3rd, 2026. I'm your host, JD from New York, as always, joined by the one and only. He is very nice and sometimes very evil. Solohausen. What's up, brother?
I'm never evil. Always very nice. Speak for yourself.
You're never evil, huh?
I was going to ask you about your evil DH over there on the Braves. What's going on?
Bro, man, that's ridiculous.
What the hell?
162 day suspension, and I honestly, I'm reading the story. I think he did it on purpose, to be quite honest with you.
Oh, well, he did it on purpose. He forfeits $15 million. I don't think he did it on purpose.
I thought he was getting paid the $15 million. It's a guaranteed contract.
My impression was, I think Jeff Passan at ESPN mentioned that I think he forfeits the $15 million, I believe.
Fuck him. Good for him. He doesn't get owed a dime. That's ridiculous.
I mean, not for the second time this is happening. That's crazy.
These baseball players are fucking stupid, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't get it. I really don't.
I mean, I was looking at some of the boards, honestly. Some people were like, this is going to cripple the Braves and this is going to set them back. And one guy was like, this guy makes absolutely no fucking difference. We got a couple of arms that are injured, but this guy's not going to make a difference for us. I'm like, okay. Whatever.
But this is less than a year after he failed a test previously.
Yes. Profar. Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know, man. I don't like this negative news, this negative feeling before we even get to spring training. It's not good, you know. I want 2026 to be better.
Welcome to my world. Oh, typically this time of year we're here. I don't want to jinx it, but typically this time of year we're hearing about different injuries. We're hearing about all kinds of issues. I'm not saying a word.
No, don't. As soon as you say something, then someone's got an ear up, and then goodbye. It's all over.
Yeah, then Danhausen will put a curse on them, and that'll be the end of the Mets. So I'm not saying a word.
Speaking of Danhausen, we're going to talk about Danhausen tonight. His debut with WWE, upon arrival out of the crate, was met with polarizing views. So we'll definitely talk about that. I was a little bit more receptive to him last night than I was at the Chamber. And I'm sure a lot of people were as well. So we'll definitely talk about that. We will talk about the Elimination Chamber. A lot of different directions coming out of WrestleMania. We got a big WWE Championship match, of course, because we'll be doing commentary for HOG on Friday, and they announced the WWE title match on Friday. So we will definitely talk about that. Lots of exciting stuff there with the WWE title. A lot of exciting directions possibly. And then we got the Punk and Roman stuff. We'll go over that. The Jade Cargill story. She's going one-on-one with Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, but not before some bad news hit the dirt sheets today, and it's not good for Jade Cargill, so we'll talk about that. And then obviously the Chamber, which, you know, I know a lot of people were down on it, Jason, but to me it was a unanimous thumbs down show on Saturday night.
It was not up to par with past Elimination Chamber shows. Let's just put it that way. Because look, I mean, CM Punk and Finn Balor, good wrestling match. Women's Elimination Chamber, not what it was last year, still better than the men's match. You could find things on the show that were not terrible, but when the show was over, it just felt like, did you really spend your time wisely sitting there for 3.5 hours watching this show?
Was it premium?
Or if you paid premium prices in Chicago to be at the show, would you, I'm talking about you specifically, if you had paid those prices and gone to the Elimination Chamber, would you feel satisfied with what they gave you?
Not a chance in hell.
There you go.
I don't know, but everything's great. Triple H said we're going to have a fun time with Danhausen now on TV. So
of course it's great. Did you not hear CM Punk when the show was over on Saturday, man? They set the second biggest ever gate record in WWE history with the 19,000 people they had at the United Center, second only to the John Cena retirement.
Yeah, well, I didn't hear that, but I did read about it. I'm not surprised with the amount of tickets and the prices for these tickets that were sold. So
come on, man, you should be happy for them. They set another gate record, JD. Come on, where's your spirit? Where's your enthusiasm?
More money lines their pockets and more television that's terrible is gracing our eyes. So that's the way it works.
Not so terrible last night.
No, last night was all right.
Last night was a big step up from last Monday.
It was, and I actually enjoyed last night better than the Chamber too. To be honest with you.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I thought Gunther and Dragon Lee, the match they had last night, was better than anything that we saw on the Elimination Chamber show.
I said the same thing. I'm like, why wasn't this on the actual PLE?
Well, you know what? I'm not sure it would have gotten the kind of reaction from the crowd had it been on that PLE. I think that PLE put a lot of people in a sour mood, but yeah, of course. I mean, look, it's ridiculous. You know, you have the crate stuff as opposed to a great match like that. Of course, it's ridiculous. But yeah, that was better than anything we had, including both chamber matches on Saturday.
You know, I had some people tell me on my end that WWE should never go to Chicago again after that crowd on Saturday night.
Who are these people?
I don't know. I don't want to associate with them.
Who was telling you this?
Some people in my chat.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully I won't spot them tonight because that's one of the more ridiculous things I've ever heard.
Yeah, if that's one of you guys and you're listening, man, stay in the shadows. We don't want to see you.
Look, Chicago has earned a reputation, in my opinion, for being the best wrestling city. There's a lot of great wrestling cities out there, and I'm not just saying that because we're going to be there on Friday, but Chicago is a great wrestling town. And the idea that because they didn't react well to some of the stuff that we got on the Elimination Chamber show, how come these people are not more excited? Why aren't they more enthusiastic about what they're seeing? Did you see the show? What would you like these people to do? Should they be doing backflips in the audience? Would you like them to be chanting, "This is awesome," for stuff that is not awesome? I mean, what do you want them to do? It's funny to me when people blame these crowds lately for being as quiet as they are. Like, are you not paying attention to what's going on here? Have you not watched the product over the last several weeks?
Boring, chat. It's boring. Shows are boring. I mean, most of the time.
You know, it's pretty clear.
We'll definitely get into all that and the reception from Chicago on Saturday night. Thank you guys a lot for joining us here, man. We had a great show last week, 42,000 views. You guys killed it as always. I'm expecting more of the same tonight with this chamber discussion. We already have 1,500 in here, so keep that energy up. And make sure you guys follow us on social media. You guys know what to do. Everything is linked in the description. Super chats are open. Best way to support Jason and I here on Tuesday nights. And make sure you guys also hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes. That's the goal tonight, 1,000 likes. And leave a comment down below. Before we get into the festivities, Jason, do you want to tell everybody what's happening this Friday? Coincidentally, in Chicago, we got a big show coming up.
Yeah, we hate Chicago. Boo, boo, Chicago.
I'll be there.
No,
Jason will be there.
We love Chicago. Yes, no, don't throw square pizza slices at us. Chicago is going to be the host of the House of Glory Turf Wars show coming up on Friday. We're back at Logan Square Auditorium. It is a sold-out show. We officially sold out earlier today, so do not buy a ticket. There are none left to be bought. But you can watch the show on Triller TV. Plus, we got Zilla Fatu is going to be defending his Crown Jewel Championship against Bishop Dyer, who the former Baron Corbin, who is making his HOG debut. And Shotzi will be defending her women's title against Killer Kelly. Charles Mason will be there. Amazing Red. There's going to be a bunch of great matches. Actually, we just announced Myron Reed of the Rascals is going to be wrestling Ken Broadway. So it's going to be good shit on Friday night, and both of us will be there. So hopefully you will be too.
There you go. My guy, Bishop Dyer's going to be there, man. Open Air Coffee. Shout out to his coffee roastery. Good stuff there. And,
coffee connoisseur.
Yes, he is. So we look forward to seeing some of you guys out there in Chicago. Should be a great time.
I would tell him that if he didn't block me, but that's okay. It's okay.
I mean, you got to drink. You got to start drinking coffee, man. Maybe we'll get you unblocked.
Well, if you say it's good enough, I might try it.
All right, man. I'm going to leave it up to you as always. We got a lot to talk about. What do you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk about? I know the main kind of topic of discussion is going to be the Elimination Chamber, but what I think we should start with is the latest news on the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I think we should start there.
Okay.
We have a class now that is starting to grow, and they have said that there will be more inductees announced in the coming weeks. I don't remember how many we got last year. I feel like there were fewer than usual, maybe 5 or so, 4 or 5. So we'll see how many we get. But we know Stephanie McMahon is in. We know AJ Styles is in. The Undertaker was the one to break the news to both of them. So following tradition, The Undertaker broke the news on Monday to the newest inductees, Axe and Smash, Demoltiion. They are going into the Hall of... Do you know how many years I have been lobbying for Demoltiion to go into the Hall of Fame? I mean, you've been listening to my show for a while. Take a guess how many years I've been lobbying for this.
Well, you've been doing it for how long? 20 years?
This year will be 19 years.
I would say out of the 19 years, you've been lobbying for Demolition to get into the Hall of Fame for at least 13 of those 19 years.
15 years.
Holy shit. Close.
15 years.
Oh, my God.
And it is finally happening. It would not be happening if Vince McMahon was still there. I'm sure of it.
No.
But when I heard the news yesterday, it brought a smile to my face. This is, long overdue, does not even really begin to describe it. Because, and I think it might be the same for you, but I've said this before, Demolition for me was my favorite tag team growing up. Really, it was Demolition and the Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
So for me, now, depending on where you were watching wrestling, maybe for you, if you were watching Jim Crockett, it might have been the Road Warriors. Understandable. But for me, it was Demolition. I just thought they were the coolest thing. The first time I ever painted my face was trying to be a member of Demolition. And most of all, I'm just really happy that they are going to be able to get their flowers at a time where they are both still above ground and breathing. Because there have been a lot of people, as you know, who have not had that opportunity. And I was very worried that was going to be the case with them. And I'm very happy that that will not happen.
Yeah, and out of everything you said, that last part there is the most important for me. I know we look at the Hall of Fame and who should be there and who is not there because of reasons, and they can't be there because they're no longer with us. But that last part is the most important because I'm glad also that they're going in at a time where we can physically see their expressions and their emotions and how grateful they are to be there, and they very well deserve it. It's beyond deserving, like you said. Yeah, go ahead, Jess.
I was just gonna say, and again, every convention, they do conventions probably almost every weekend, and I'm sure everywhere they go, they get the same question over and over again. When are you going to go into the Hall of Fame? When are you going to go into the Hall of Fame? And they have no fucking idea. It's not their choice. So I'm sure they're tired of answering that question, all the time. So I'm sure they were relieved as much as anything, like, oh, thank God, we're not going to have to answer this question anymore. When I interviewed them many years ago, I asked them the same question. And again, they were like, well, it would be nice if it happens, but, we have no idea. Because for a long time there, there was bad blood. I don't know how many people know that, but when Axe left the company, he sued them later on over the rights to the Demolition name. And they went back and forth for many years in court. It was like a civil case. So that was one kind of black mark, I'm sure. And then many years later, they signed on to that class action concussion lawsuit. They were one of many who signed on. And I'm sure that sealed their fate, although they have forgiven other people for, far less or far more serious transgressions over the years. And so that had a lot to do with why they were sort of persona non grata in the company. But when they signed that Legends deal last year, to me, when I heard that, I said, okay, like the ice is thawing and now it's just a matter of time. I just hope they don't wait too long. And so here we are.
Yeah, this is going to be great. AJ's great as well. He's going in, but if there's a reason for me to watch the Hall of Fame, which by the way, will be getting a midnight Eastern start time this year because they're on the West Coast. So I will definitely be tuning in to watch these guys speak in front of everybody. But the news was announced this week, like Jason said, by The Undertaker, who is now by default the one who kind of goes around announcing everybody in the Hall of Fame. This is his new deal now.
Yeah, he's like the one. Remember they used to have the Publishers Clearinghouse, and these people would show up on your doorstep with a giant check.
Yeah.
That's basically like what he is now. He has this ceremonial role, and if you look at your phone and it says, I guess, Undertaker on there, which would be kind of funny if it said that, from now on, you'll know. You know what I mean? Like, depending on what time of year it is, if you get a phone call from The Undertaker, it's like, oh, fuck, I'm going into the Hall of Fame. But it's like the perfect role for him. So I saw the Zoom video or what FaceTime, whatever it was. And I don't know if they gave them a heads up in advance, but they seemed genuinely surprised by it, which was nice to see.
So they got announced by The Undertaker. They debuted in 1987, and they were obviously some of the more larger-than-life characters growing up, face paint, and their ring attire, studded leather gear, face paint, like I said. Demolition's presence was definitely enhanced by Mr. Fuji, who was quite the character himself, and just, you see Mr. Fuji, one of the most recognizable entities maybe ever in WWE, one of the greatest managers they've ever had. He accompanied them to the ring, and obviously, Mr. Fuji was all about the hijinks and nefarious actions at ringside. They won their first tag team championship at 1988 WrestleMania against Strikeforce. And the title reign lasted 478 days. Now, that was actually broken by the New Day several years ago. And I know a lot of people made a big deal about that. And like Jason said, they were part of that class action lawsuit. And I wonder why that was broken and why something like that couldn't be preserved. But I'm assuming someone did that on purpose. That's just the way I feel. Someone just kind of like, yeah, fuck these guys. We're going to have our guys, the New Day, break it. And then I think the Usos ended up breaking it, right?
Yeah. I want to say the concussion lawsuit might have signed on to it the year before because New Day broke the record in 2016. I think the lawsuit might go back to 2015, maybe. So I'm sure it was no coincidence. And yeah, then the Usos, 662, something like that days. Yeah. And then they lost it in the main event of WrestleMania Night 1 a few years ago.
Yeah. I always said it doesn't matter the length of the reign. It's what happens in the reign. And I mean, I wouldn't give the Usos greatest tag team title reign of all time just because they had 600 plus days, but that's just me.
No. Yeah, you also got to remember, Demolition, you're talking about an era of tag team wrestling that to me is the golden age of tag team wrestling. I mean, you're talking about, like, think of the teams that they were working with at that time, right? You have the Hart Foundation and the Rockers. And I don't know if they ever wrestled the Bulldogs. They might have. Because the Bulldogs were still there when they first were.
Yeah, I don't know about them. I don't remember seeing them in Demolition.
But they were definitely around at the same time. I feel like the Bulldogs were kind of on the downside, and they were on their way out in '88. But yeah, those guys in Strikeforce and Killer Bee, like
the Brainbusters.
Brainbusters, like that was the golden era of tag team wrestling.
Yeah,
to me, and I wish we could say the same right now. Or I wish we could say the same about the last few years, but we can't because it's just not as much of a priority as it was back then.
Yeah, I wish we could get back there, man. I'm a big fan of tag team wrestling. I know you are as well. Like I said, 478 days. That was surpassed by the New Day, and then the Usos surpassed the New Day there. Record-setting reign, Demolition successfully defended the title against teams like Jason just mentioned, the Rockers, the Twin Towers, the Powers of Pain, Hart Foundation. And throughout their time in the company, Demolition engaged in rivalries with this here, where I got my my notes from. Brainbusters were mentioned, and the British Bulldogs were indeed mentioned. They secured their third and final tag team championship at WrestleMania 6, where they defeated the Colossal Connection. That was Haku and Andre the Giant. And that team was known for concluding their matches using a tandem maneuver called the Demolition Decapitation. And then Brian Adams. Oh, my God.
Which the New Day has adapted. That's the Midnight Hour thing.
Yeah. And then Brian Crush Adams, he ended up joining the group. And I didn't mind him. there. I thought he fit the group, but, it's like adding a third member to something that really didn't need a third member. It was like,
Yeah, I mean, clearly he's not going to be a part of the I mean, he's not alive, obviously, but nowhere in the announcement or in the graphic is he featured, and that's fine because to me it was a relatively small part. It was part of the early part of his career. He was very young when they brought him in and they put him in Demolition, and it was just like a fleeting moment. I mean, he played so many other roles like Kona Crush, Convict Crush, DOA Crush, and then he went to WCW and he was part of Chronic and So he had a lot of other roles in wrestling, and he could probably get his own induction one day. Him not being a part of the Demolition one, I mean, they may shout him out during their speech, but him not being a part of this, to me, it's fine. I mean, I don't really think he should be in there.
And his best feud in WWF was against Savage when he was, I don't know if it was Fuji was managing him or was Cornette. One or the other.
Well, it was Fuji.
It was, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that and Doink. That was the other big feud of his.
Yeah. So. Well, I mean, that was evil Doink. So that was the good Doink. So I didn't really mind that.
Let me tell you that. I mean, the angle where Doink hit him in the head with the fake cast.
Yes, that was great stuff.
Pummeling him in the fucking head with it. And the way Vince was selling it on commentary, you would think the guy's like, remember when Negan was, killing people with the bat on The Walking Dead and smashing their heads and stuff. And I thought that's what they were doing to poor Crush here. But yeah, I mean, again, he had many more years in the company doing stuff that had nothing to do with Demolition, and so did the other guys, by the way. They're not going in for these roles, but both these guys played other characters over the years. You know, Bill Eadie at one point when he was the Masked Superstar, he was working with names like Hogan and Backlund when they were the champion. And then, of course, you know, Barry Darsow. We can't talk about Barry Darsow and not talk about the Repo Man, one of the all-time great.
That's a
wrestling
classic.
gimmicks.
That's a classic character right there.
Oh my God, one of my guilty pleasures.
I know. Listen, if you don't like the Repo Man, then you don't really love pro wrestling, man. Same thing with the Evil Doink. I was gonna say the Evil Doink, man. Don't diss the Evil Doink. He had a nice little spot in 1993, and none better than that fucking SummerSlam with Jerry Lawler, where he came out after Jerry Lawler got into a quote unquote car accident. He put on a 20-minute clinic with Bret the Hitman Hart at SummerSlam. It's a great fucking match, man.
It is. No, he was a great technical wrestler. You know, it worked. It worked. Unfortunately, he flamed out because he had personal problems, but it was actually a rather ingenious gimmick that could have gone even high. I don't know what his ceiling would have been, but it's too bad that it ended when it did. But yeah, I mean, he was Crusher Khrushchev in Jim Crockett Promotions, and then he had some other goofier gimmicks in WCW, you know, Blacktop Bully, Hole-in-One Darsow. He was the evil golfer. You know, I mean, you get wrestlers like that. Brutus Beefcake's another one. It's like, I'll do whatever you want me to do, just pay me. How many fucking gimmicks did he have?
Yeah.
I mean, my God. Just in WCW alone, the Disciple, the fucking Booty Man. The hell's a Booty Man?
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Zodiac. I mean, you know, you get guys like that.
In early 2025, it was reported that both Eadie and Darsow had officially signed Legends contracts with WWE, allowing the company to produce licensed merchandise for them and for the team. They are actually going to be a part of DLC number 2 for WWE 2K26, so their likeness is going to actually be in the new video game, which is fucking cool. Additionally, Darsow noted in 2024 that WWE had invited them to attend the Hall of Fame ceremony during WrestleMania 40 weekend, but they were unable to attend due to prior scheduling commitments. So they're going in. This is long overdue, well beyond deserved. We'll end with this, Jason, before we move on to the next topic. What was... I don't know if you had one absolutely sole favorite Demolition moment, but if there was one, what was it?
Moment?
Yeah.
Moment
or
would
match.
be when they... moment and match. Moment was when they won the tag titles that third time. Because if you remember... I remember the moment vividly. I mean, it was at the Sky Dome at that WrestleMania where Hogan and Warrior fought. And Andre, look, you know, Andre was limited in what he could do at that point. But when they won, the place exploded. Like, the reaction it got was just huge. You get 67,000 people losing their minds. So for me, that would be the moment. The match, what would have been the best 2 out of 3 falls with the Hart Foundation at SummerSlam in 1990.
Yeah.
I think that was probably... They had a great one with them in 88, actually, but that one in 90 would be the best match.
Yeah, that's my favorite match as well. Another moment that I look fondly on, and it might not be in other people's top Demolition moments, but 1989 Royal Rumble, where they actually came out at number 1 and 2, and then they were in there with Andre the Giant. I thought watching that as a kid, that was fucking awesome.
Dude, let me tell you, as a kid, when you heard the Demolition music go off the second time and you realize, holy shit.
Is this even allowed? What is going on here?
Fight each other. Oh my God. And it's like, that was a big deal.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
Yeah. So when you see something like that happen in modern day, you got to go back and wonder where it all got started right there. There you go. That's the moment right there. But congratulations to those guys. Definitely going to be watching to see what they do WrestleMania weekend. So well deserved there. Moving on. You want to go talk about Chamber? This looming Elimination Chamber. What did you call it? The Chamber of Horrors?
I call it the Chamber of Horrors. There was an infamous match of that name in WCW many years ago where Abdullah the Butcher, it was some weird cage, and at the finish, Abdullah the Butcher was strapped to an electric chair, and he was shocked with thousands of volts of electricity. And that's at times what I felt like watching that show on Saturday. So the Chamber of Horrors name, I thought, you know what? It's kind of appropriate for this show.
Yeah, this was...
I mean, dude, compare it to last year's show.
No, you can't. You can't
It's one of the
do
best
it.
shows all year. I think it might have been for you. You said
It was my favorite PLE pay-per-view of the year last year.
Yeah, I think I had that as maybe number 2. I think I had Evolution at number 1. And at least as far as WWE, that was, to me, the second best show all year We had some great matches, great chamber matches. We had the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn unsanctioned match.
That was great.
And then we had, of course, and forget what happened after, but I mean, that big angle at the end with John Cena. And I'm like, holy shit, what a freaking show this was. And so 1 year later, here we are. And this show, that was a very newsworthy show. It felt important. And we got some great matches out of it. And this one was just, I don't know. It was more akin to a Saturday night's main event than a premium live event.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the way the current feel is for these WWE PLEs. Just thinking back to last year, I know so many people were so excited after that ending last year for the Chamber. You know, I know a lot of people came into our respective chats, and the energy, you could legitimately feel the energy sitting in your chair in front of your computer, how people were excited. This year, it was more like, what the fuck? And this is boring, and I don't really understand where they're going. These PLEs, I don't know how anybody in the company doesn't realize that they are just not great for a viewer to sit down and experience for 3.5 hours. The commercials in between, 5 or 6 minutes, just blank screen commercials, and the way that these shows just, they don't feel important, Jason. Are you worried? Coming out of Survivor Series, War Games was very just sterile. Royal Rumble, very sterile. Elimination Chamber, very sterile. These are big matches that WWE waits all year to do. You only get them one time a year. And I feel like they should be of the utmost importance. And they just feel like WWE throws them away as if they don't really mean anything. Do you get that feeling with all these different gimmick shows that WWE does all year, and the fact that they just don't mean much anymore? And why is that? Like, what's going on there?
I mean, it changes year to year. It really depends on the story that you have going into it. Right? That's ultimately what it boils down to. If you have, like you mentioned, War Games, if they had this really hot rivalry between a group of wrestlers or two warring factions that was really building up in the months leading up to it, you can see where they're going and you're like, all right, we're going to pay this off in War Games. That could be great. But when you have a year where it's like, okay, it's War Games, and so we're just going to put a bunch of people together, of course, it's not going to be as fun. So it really just depends year to year. My concern is that we are now in God, how many months has it been since the ESPN era began? Have we really had a banger show since the beginning of the ESPN era in terms of these PLEs?
I would say the best show that they put on in the ESPN era was probably Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I remember watching Survivor Series and I'm like, this is the lamest stadium show that I think they've ever done. And then Royal Rumble came and went, and you know, we talked about what we felt about the Rumble, and now Elimination Chamber. I'm still waiting. Maybe WrestleMania will be it. I'm still waiting for that like real home run show since they shifted these PLEs over to ESPN.
Well, now we're waiting for WrestleMania to be a home run show, and I don't really have a lot of trust in them to deliver that.
Well, somebody the other day, who was it, who said WrestleMania might be a sleeper show?
Cody said it.
Oh, right. Yes, Cody. And I'm like, do we not realize what's wrong with that statement? Like, WrestleMania should never be a sleeper show. Like, Backlash should be a sleeper show. Clash in Italy could be a sleeper show. WrestleMania, for that to be a sleeper show, I mean, what is that? You expect WrestleMania should be one of the best shows all year. So I just thought, what a weird thing to say. But, you know, I guess here we are. Maybe WrestleMania will be a sleeper show this year.
Cody basically admitted without actually saying it that we have no plans for WrestleMania. Just follow us along on the journey, and then what you get is what you get.
Yeah.
That's basically what he told us.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This women's chamber started things off on Saturday night. We got Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Kiana James, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez, and Tiffany Stratton. Please tell me you complained about, and I'm going to lump this in with the men as well. We had entrances for the women that took 13 minutes. I think the men's entrances took upwards towards 18, 19 minutes. And everybody, bro, when they got into the cage, we got 1, we got number 2, 3, and 4. And when everybody went to their pods, everybody that came out had to go and bang on each individual chamber pod. And then when we got number 5 and 6, and then they do the same thing and they do their entrance, and then the match starts, and it's like 20 minutes has gone by and we haven't gotten a single fucking move yet because everybody's doing their taunts and their trash talking and banging on the pods. Please tell me you found this to be a problem. I never realized it was this bad before.
Take all that time, and man, it's almost like you could have had Gunther and Dragon Lee on the show. So you would have just
oh my god
taken some of that time, dude. The main event was roughly 20 minutes of entrances. The match itself went 25 minutes.
Yes.
So now I want you to now think about this. Jey Uso got bounced out of the chamber. Imagine if Jey Uso stayed in the chamber and came out and did his entrance and ran it back and all that stuff. I legitimately think the entrances would have been longer than the Elimination Chamber.
Probably.
Like I'm convinced of it. Of course, it's completely obnoxious, and I get like these crowds like WWE. It's about the experience, and people want to sing the entrance songs. The entrances are part of the show. I get that, but it's never been this bad where everything is just so drawn out. It's almost like, okay, we are going to keep ourselves to a certain number of matches, but we have a lot of time to kill. And people throw this phrase around, but this is what Saturday was. It was aura farming every time somebody would come out for their entrance. Yeah, and if you have one or two really big stars, it might be okay for them to do that. If Randy Orton wants to come out and aura farm, okay, he's earned that right. He's Randy Orton, and he takes his time coming to the ring. But every single person was doing it.
Yeah, this was very bad. I don't remember it ever being this bad, but
no,
Saturday was just completely over the top ridiculous. We got Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton starting the match, and I'm not going to go over everything here. There's no reason to, but I will just point out some of the highlights here. Tiffany started the match. She lasted the entire match because she was up until the very end with Rhea Ripley. But I wanna shout out here Kiana James and Raquel Rodriguez. I know people were kind of shitting on Raquel Rodriguez because of a botch here or a botch there, but you know, it's the Elimination Chamber. I don't really pay attention to that type of stuff. She looked dominant, and she has been, at least in the Judgment Day, as part of the Judgment Day. She's been great, and she's been showcasing a lot more than what she has, and she's grown. But Kiana James, I don't know how you feel about Kiana James, Jason. I'm a big Kiana James guy, and I feel like she is. You want to use the term sleeper. I think people are sleeping on Kiana James. I know everybody's like got Lash Legend on the mind, and everybody's looking at Lash Legend as the big breakout star on SmackDown, but I don't think we should be sleeping on Kiana James. I thought she had a very good Rumble, and the fact that they brought her out at number 2 to go in there and be with Tiffany Stratton and last a decent portion of this match says a lot about what WWE thinks about her.
Yeah, I mean, she was in there for 20 minutes, so they knew she was going to be in there for a long time. To me, like the last couple of years, I feel, or I don't know if it was the last couple of years, 3 years, of the women's chambers, you could usually pick somebody out who had like a star-making performance or just a really good showing that helped elevate them. Tiffany Stratton was actually in that spot a few years ago. I think it was in Perth.
Yeah.
And she had a really good chamber. Last year, I think it was Roxanne Perez. So this year, I would say that spot really went to Kiana James. And Raquel had a good night too. But this was the first time that she's had any sort of real spotlight on her in a major match since she got called up to the main roster. I mean, she may have been in the Women's Rumble, but I mean, that doesn't count. So, you know, for her first time in that situation, I thought she did well. She's very athletic. She's you know, a good wrestler. They just haven't really shined a spotlight on her yet. You know, this whole pairing with her and Julia, at some point that pairing will come to an end. And I think she would make at some point like a solid US level, you know, type wrestler, IC level type wrestler on the roster. So yeah, I thought it was a good night for her.
Yeah, Kiana did great. Rodriguez did very well as well here. Speaking of who had a good night, Asuka and Kiana were actually eliminated in a double pin by Raquel, so she took care of both of them. I didn't really care for that spot. I thought it was ridiculous, but
it was goofy.
Yeah. So that happened there. That was the big spot for her, and then it was down to Rodriguez, Ripley, and Tiffany as the final 3. Rodriguez got eliminated after a prettiest moonsault ever, and we were down to Ripley and Tiffany, which, you know, I think everybody had them either pegged to win the chamber, either one of these women. So it was, I guess, kind of poetic that they ended up being the final 2 here, because it did make it a little unpredictable, but not really, because you're thinking, one, Rhea Ripley is Rhea Ripley, and WWE loves her, and she's their biggest star. I would say maybe out of both divisions, men and women. And then you got Tiffany Stratton, who we're all wondering what she's going to do at WrestleMania, and is WWE going to do a rematch between Tiffany and Jade? The possibility was always there. But we ended up getting Rhea Ripley, Jason, and she ended up winning the Elimination Chamber here. She now faces Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania. And I know you and I had both predicted Alexa Bliss because that was the stronger story. And I had it in my fantasy realm that I would like to see Rhea and Io maybe do something together at WrestleMania. And I was with you in agreement where I know a lot of people are just tired of the same old faces in WWE. And I know a lot of us were like, Charlotte and Jade sounds like a great WrestleMania match. And it's just basically the same thing with people complaining about why Rhea is there. Just substitute Rhea for Charlotte. I get the discourse, but I just feel like there was a lot better that we could have done creatively with Rhea Ripley instead of giving her to Jade. And I'm not really on board with this match yet. I'm hoping that they change my mind with whatever story that we get on SmackDown. But looking at it right now, the way we sit here, I'm not a fan of this move.
Dude, it was the only move that made sense at this point. But given who qualified for the Elimination Chamber, and you look at the available options, the reason I went with Alexa is with the idea that Charlotte would end up being worked into the match somehow. Because the story really would be Charlotte and Alexa. They're both going after the same thing. And Jade would end up being the beneficiary because Jade would come out of WrestleMania still with her championship, but you further the tension between Charlotte and Alexa. It was never to do Alexa against Jade one-on-one.
No.
Yeah, no. So I was surprised when she was the first one eliminated in the chamber. But then once she was gone, it's like, okay, you know what? I see what they're doing here. You mentioned it. Rhea Ripley is one of the biggest stars of any kind in the entire company. And they're at a point now where, okay, Bianca's not available. I'm sure that would have been the WrestleMania match. Okay, but she's off the table. So what realistically were your options for the biggest possible match you could do? Charlotte Flair or Rhea Ripley? It was one or the other. And when Charlotte got bounced, Rhea was the likeliest option. Because did you honestly believe that Rhea Ripley was going to be left out of a major singles match at WrestleMania? I mean, I was starting to worry because I thought she was going to be stuck in tag team hell. So when they lost the tag belts on Friday, I was like, okay, well, I guess my Alexa Bliss pick is out the window because that frees her up now, right, to challenge for the world championship. So that's when I knew, like, okay, I think we know who's going over in the chamber here. But if I were WWE, dude, I would do the same thing. That's the biggest possible match you can do. Now you have 7 weeks to build a story and create interest in this match, and hopefully they'll do a better job with it than they did with Charlotte and Tiffany last year. If you remember the debacle of the build to that match last year, they ended up having a good match at WrestleMania, but the build left something to be desired. Let's just say that. So we'll see what they do on Friday. They're already teasing tension, playing off some other events that are going on, and we'll see. But like, that is the biggest possible match that you could do with Jade. And Jade should be in there with somebody like Charlotte or Rhea, because otherwise, what kind of a match is she going to have? Right? Don't you want her in there with somebody who you know is going to give her the best chance to have the biggest match of her career? That's what this is. This is the biggest match of Jade Cargill's career.
Yeah, I get that. Rhea, she's all over these advertisements. She's sitting at the dinner table with the rest of the women. So you knew she was going to have a major match in all these WrestleMania vignettes that we see for the last 5 or 6 months. I get that you want to have your biggest star in a huge match. And I understand that they want Jade to work with somebody like that because that's the only way she's going to get better. And honestly, in my opinion anyway, she hasn't really improved from where we saw her coming out of AEW. That's just my opinion. I don't think that this is the best use of Rhea Ripley. I don't think this is Rhea's biggest match at Mania. I don't. You could have easily plugged Charlotte in there. I was okay with that because we've been without Charlotte in the main event scene for about 12 months now. And I would have been okay with that. And quite honestly, I've given Charlotte a lot of flowers over the last 12 months. I think she's actually played the babyface role great. And I'm kind of waiting for Alexa to turn heel, and I would keep Charlotte as a babyface. I don't like her as a heel. I think she plays a better babyface now than one we've seen in the last 12 months than she plays as a heel. I think as a heel, she tries to be too much like her father, and I don't like it. Alexa's a much better heel than Charlotte would be. I honestly think Rhea and Io would have been the better story and the bigger match. Now, that might have been a pipe dream, but the story was there. You can't tell me that they couldn't have gotten there.
The story is there, but then, so here's the thing. You could have done Charlotte. It could have been Charlotte against Jade. They've teased it multiple times, by the way. Like, yes. 2 or 3 different times on TV, they've teased the match. What I'm saying is, once they made the decision not to go with her, to me, Rhea Ripley is the one that made the most sense. Once they decided we're not doing Charlotte, Rhea was the only option. Because You need to have a big match for her at WrestleMania. Rhea challenging for the championship is going to be bigger than Rhea in a non-title match against Io Sky. I get that's going to be a better match. I would love to see that match. I told you, I laid this all out a few weeks ago. The only story you need for that match is that Rhea has never beaten Io Sky. And she goes to WrestleMania. They have a banger of a match, and she finally beats her. Right? It's a very simple story. But they didn't do it. So this is what you're left with. I did not want to see Tiffany Stratton again against Jade Cargill. We've already seen that. I had no interest in seeing that again. Kiana was not winning. Asuka was not winning. Raquel makes no sense against Jade. Rhea is the option that makes the most sense given who is available to them. It's going to be the biggest possible match they could do with her at this point.
Do you find it very telling that WWE had to move Rhea Ripley from Monday Night Raw to Friday Night SmackDown to find Jade an opponent?
No, I mean, if you think back to last year, Bianca won the Chamber. She was on SmackDown, but she ended up basically on Raw up until WrestleMania because that was the title that she was fighting for. So, I mean, we've seen examples of this before. I mean, I see your point, though. You're not wrong because we've talked about the lack of depth when it comes to, like, top women stars on SmackDown. That's been a problem now for months. This Jade run has been fucking garbage. I mean, the way that she's had nothing to do. It took 100 days to get her in the ring to defend the championship.
Well, I mean, if you're going to get some talent over to SmackDown, Rhea Ripley's the best choice there. But, I mean, it's going to take more than Rhea Ripley to fix that division. Of course it's going to
take more than Rhea Ripley, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, that division is dying, dude.
Yeah, I know.
It's like you're driving down the road and you see, like, there's a dead animal on the side of the road. That's the SmackDown women's roster right now.
I know. It's all.
You just want to put it out of its misery. Like, you got to start somewhere.
Now that the match is booked, are we giving Rhea the championship, having her run that division until Bianca gets back? Because I still think, I don't know how you feel about this, Rhea and Bianca is still the biggest match they could do in that division.
I agree.
Yeah. But
we still don't know when Bianca's going to come back.
No, I know.
I still think that should be saved for a WrestleMania type show.
Yes.
So to answer your question, no. I think you keep the title on Jade, especially if they have a sense that Bianca might be back in the not too distant future, because I still think that's a match they want to do. That would have been the match they were going to do this year. Like, I'm convinced of it.
Yes.
So if Bianca's going to be back in a matter of months, you keep the belt on Jade and you hold off and you do that story and then put the belt on Bianca when the time is right. And then you can build to Bianca and Rhea later on.
We will see what happens. As of right now, I'm not very excited. I know they're supposed to have a face-to-face on Friday night. Jade's not the greatest promo, but coming out of last night's...
She's that bitch, though.
Yeah, she is that bitch, yes. But coming out of last night's show, there was a lot of discourse on social media because there was an exchange between Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley, and a lot of people were more focused on this than they were actually Monday Night Raw. So Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer picked up on this, and they talked about this after Raw went off the air last night on the Observer Live, and they claimed that all of this was an orchestrated work to build anticipation for their upcoming match at WrestleMania, and the company is intentionally incorporating authentic sentiments from the talent to enhance the realism of the feud. By involving all the wrestlers in the conversation, the goal is to convince the audience that the animosity is genuine. So Brian Alvarez went on to say that they're doing an angle on Twitter to make you think that they actually hate each other. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven got involved, making everybody think it was real. And then we got a report today from Mike Johnson and PW Insider. And he says the ongoing social media dispute between Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley is reportedly a legitimate, real-life conflict. According to the report, PW Insider said the recent public interactions between the two were not a part of a scripted storyline devised by the WWE writing team. PW Insider details the backstage reaction and escalating tension. A number of sources within the company have placed the blame for the public blow-up directly on Jade Cargill. One source informed PW Insider that Jade has faced criticism from multiple talents regarding how she interacts with others in the locker room. The source noted that Jade has a history of rubbing others the wrong way. Consequently, the public back and forth with Ripley commenced on social media. It was not difficult for other performers to want to jump in and voice their own opinions on the matter. Furthermore, this source cited that this is not the first instance where Jade has upset colleagues with her conduct. The source said that when reports surfaced last year regarding Jade dealing with an injury, the actual this is when she was put through the windshield of that car, if you guys remember. The actual reason she was removed from television and sent to the WWE Performance Center was to allow personal issues going on at the time with the locker room to subside. Another source initially attempted to downplay the severity of the situation to PW Insider, but subsequently admitted that they expect WWE management to intervene. This source indicated that management will likely step in, speak to Jade regarding her personal or her professional, relationship with the rest of the locker room. The source emphasized that everyone in the locker room has been happy to do whatever is necessary to help Jade get over with the audience. However, the source stated that the respect to the locker room shows Jade does not often feel requited. This individual described Cargill as coming off as insecure, noting that she would have not any reason to feel that way given her current position within the company. So another source close to Jade said that this is completely blown up, attributing the tension to Cargill possessing type A personality. The source stated that this type of conflict is simply what happens when highly competitive personalities occupy the same space. Wow. Just to throw a joke in there here. The same thing that they're accusing Jade of in the locker room jumping on her now because of real life tensions. It's exactly what she did to me on social media a couple of Halloweens ago when the AW locker room jumped on me, but that's all in the past now. So it's actually the same way happening to her. Jason, I'm not a big fan of Jade. I'm not. From a character-wise, wrestling-wise, I'm not a fan of what she's done in AEW and WWE. The potential is there. WWE sees her as a superstar. But coming on in, if we are to believe this report from Mike Johnson, and she's not receptive and she's not appreciative of others trying to help her get to where she needs to go, that's a big-time problem, man. I think coming on into WWE and getting all this handed to you without showing much improvement or work, and you don't give back in some way, it's not going to work out well for Jade.
I will point out to you, it is WrestleMania season.
Yeah.
We are getting very close to WrestleMania, and wouldn't you know, all these stories are popping up now about there being locker room tension and, things are boiling over. And I would just note that. Just keep that in mind when you read these different stories. Do I think that there are women on the roster who might be resentful of Jade, jealous or resentful just because of the push that she's been given? I'm sure there are.
100%.
I mean, 100%. I mean, I'm sure it's natural. It's natural to feel that way. Because again, as you mentioned, I mean, in terms of her in-ring, she is not at the level of, the most elite women that they have in that division, but she is pushed right alongside them as one of their biggest stars. Do I think that this is all being amped up a lot, to get people interested, and they're maybe taking some genuine feelings and amplifying them for the sake of creating tension? That's exactly what I think is going on here. I don't think that anybody is speaking out of turn to the point where, there's going to be issues with the company or, people are going to get, reprimanded for it, or there's going to be a locker room cat fight between two women that's going to have to be, broken up or anything like that. I go back to last year, remember Tiffany and Charlotte?
Yeah.
And there was some talk with that one promo where Charlotte got rattled during the promo about her divorces.
Yep.
And then she just threw out that line, well, Kaiser's sliding into my DMs. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so I'm sure they were spoken to after that, because things seem like, okay, now we're getting a little outside. We're drawing outside the lines.
Yeah, but
here.
conveniently it made Unreal the next season. So it's like,
well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's why I told you, like, dude, it's WrestleMania season.
Yeah.
And as you said, there is no real story for the WWE women's title match going into WrestleMania. Well, guess what? Now there is. Now there's, at least for the people online who follow this type of shit, the casual fan has no concept of any of this, but let's see what happens. It's probably going to spill over into that promo on Friday. A lot of the stuff that we're hearing and that they're tweeting each other on social media, guarantee you it's going to end up being part of that promo. It's going to be a very heated segment with Jade and Rhea on SmackDown on Friday, and they're going to use this to create tension for their match at WrestleMania.
good. That's the best thing they could do.
So to me, I say it's a work. Again, I'm not discounting the possibility that some of these feelings are very real, but I'm not buying it. It's a work. They're going to try to drum up interest in the match, and good. That's what they should be doing. That's what they should be doing. And I think things are at their best when there is tension. I was actually just talking about this on my Raw review last night when it comes to the CM Punk Roman Reigns stuff, where really those two guys, in terms of their match, that's what's carrying the build so far to WrestleMania. And we've only had 2 segments with them. But you have 2 people who you look at and you can believe that they truly do not like each other. There's real tension there on screen. And they're drawing from their history together. But that's what makes the most compelling stories. If you go back even, to the 90s and guys that didn't like each other, you could tell on TV, like, oh man, I don't think these 2 guys like each other. And that made for the best television. We need more of that. Everything now is so safe and so clean. So when you have 2 people where it's like, man, I don't think they like each other. This is fun. This is different, right? We need more of that.
Yeah, we definitely need more of that. I'm in favor of this. So both Observer and Mike Johnson are correct in their own way. It is. It started off as a work. I thought it was a work the moment I saw it, and then obviously Mike Johnson reported that there is real sentiments there, and they're going to take this shoot and work it into the program. So I like it. This match needed something because on the surface, Rhea and Jade isn't the most entertaining promo or build up for 7 weeks that WWE could have done. So if this is going to get interest in the match, I'm all for it.
And it's going to be very interesting because, I mean, to be fair, I think Rhea Ripley is great. She's had some great matches. Obviously, I mean, her following on social media is just ridiculous. That's why she's pushed so hard. But she's never had a memorable promo. And Jade has never had a memorable promo. So I want to see what this is going to look like. They're not CM Punk and Roman Reigns.
No.
So when they're out there, if they're in the ring together with a live mic and they let them really go at each other, who's going to win? What's that going to look like? Because as long as Rhea Ripley's been around for, I can't remember a single really memorable promo that she's ever cut.
Yeah, but the thing is, Jade is so protected in every aspect. She's protected from the in-ring aspect that she gets in there and she's like 3, 4, 5 minutes tops. She does what she does. She does what she does good, but that's all she knows how to do. And then the promo, she comes out and says, blah, 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 I'm still that bitch, and in and out in 30 seconds. If they allow her to be herself and actually we get to see a little bit of what Jade is maybe outside of pro wrestling, I think that would make for a memorable promo. I don't know if WWE is going to do that because we all know that they play safe and everything's got to be contained within what they want. But if they allow her to be who she is to these people backstage, it's great television.
I think Rhea should do? I think when Rhea comes out on Friday, she should come out with a live mic and go, who the hell told you this is open mic night, bitch? And that's how she should open the segment with Jade.
That'll pop Brandy in the fucking American Nightmare tour bus backstage, I'll tell you that.
That'll pop me. Yeah. I'll be like, oh my God, this is great.
Speaking of promos, that's probably the best thing that she's done, Jade. That's since then. How long
ago
she
was
didn't
that?
do anything.
That was all Brandy. That was Brandy who said that.
I know.
Jade didn't do anything. She just stood there.
Anyway, that's coming up on Friday. That's the story with Jade. Make of it what you want, but any interest to this match is certainly welcome. Becky Lynch, she defended the Intercontinental title against AJ Lee. And I thought this was decent for AJ's first singles match in over 10 years. And there was a lot of hijinks at the end of the match, which got a lot of people wondering what the current direction for Becky and AJ is going to be going into WrestleMania. Now, Jessica Carr got involved. She was the referee in this match, and she got knocked out. So Jessica got to her feet. Becky hit a manhandle slam on AJ. Lee kicked out. Becky couldn't believe it. Lynch tried taking Lee and ramming her face first into the exposed turnbuckle, which was the whole story of this match. The turnbuckle got exposed. Jessica Carr tried to put the turnbuckle pad back on with rope and all during the match. She just completely zoned out. She's like, let me put this rope in between here and put the turnbuckle pad on.
I'm surprised she didn't just take all the ropes down and then just try to put them back out again. Like, one strand at a time.
I'm like, what is she doing here, man? I'm like, I understand. This is why she's corrupt.
Give me a wrench. Does somebody have a wrench? Give me a wrench.
This is why Becky uses the term corrupt when she talks about Jessica Carr. So she tried to ram AJ into the exposed turnbuckle. Jessica Carr stopped her. Becky went for manhandle slam, and Lee slipped out of it. She avoided a charge. Lee went, obviously moved out of the way, and Becky went into the exposed turnbuckle. And then Black Widow, Becky quickly tapped out, and we got a new champion. So AJ Lee is the new Intercontinental Champion. She lasted 15 minutes. Let's start here, Jason. I thought she looked, for being out of a singles match in over 10 years, She was quick. She was nimble. I mean, it wasn't the greatest pro wrestling exhibition I ever saw, but for someone not wrestling for 10 plus years in a singles capacity, I thought she did very well for herself.
Yeah, I mean, she was fine. She was fine. The one thing that I kind of laughed at one point, they were throwing hands, and I'm like, I can't really. I mean, she's like 5 feet tall.
Yeah,
you know, she's throwing hands with back. You know, you're not Fedor. You know, back in the day in MMA here. So that was a little silly to me, but otherwise, no, she did all of her usual stuff. You know, she did the Shining Wizard. She won with the Black Widow. Again, AJ, it's not like AJ was looked at as, you know, some great in-ring tactician back in the day. You know, she had some good matches with certain people, Caitlyn and certain people she wrestled, but what she was really known for was her promos on the other divas, you know, and the way she carried herself. She was a great character on the show. So I think as far as the in-ring here, it was fine. You know, Becky was really beating her ass for the first half of the match, and then she made her comeback, and in the end, she got the win. And I was very happy that she got the win because we talked about this. If she's going to win the championship, better here than at WrestleMania, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot of people were going back and forth over what the outcome was going to be on social media. Some people thought AJ should win the title at WrestleMania, and what I don't understand is why people would think that, because AJ is very much going to be a part-timer. She's going to be very much on that Roman Reigns schedule.
We think.
Yeah.
I mean, so far she has been. I don't know if that's going to change. Somebody was like, "Oh, she's been on a book tour." I'm like, I don't know from that, but I mean, hey, if she's going to be around more often coming out of WrestleMania, that's great. My impression is that she's not going to be full time. You know, and she, however many times a month or however many times a year, she will not be there all the time. That was my issue with her. You know, winning at WrestleMania and then having this, you know, kind of extended run.
Yeah, well, we got 7 weeks. I'm assuming she's going to make most of the rounds on television from now till WrestleMania. I was under the assumption, just based off what we saw, that she might go through WrestleMania and then, you know, take that Roman Reigns schedule. We won't see her again until maybe Queen of the Ring or SummerSlam or one or the other. So winning the championship at WrestleMania for AJ is a great moment, but as a part-time Intercontinental Champion, I think we are all over part-time champions. We don't need any more part-time champions. So that was the one big hang-up there. But I do agree with you. I think winning the championship here in Chicago goes in line with Triple H wanting his moment. You know, obviously they had that great picture with both AJ and CM Punk, husband and wife, holding championships in Chicago. So that's what they went for there. And now the discussion is, Jason, where do we go going into WrestleMania? Because this certainly opens up the line of topics and conversation. Now, I don't know how you feel. I'm personally over AJ and Becky. I don't want to see it again. I think not only we've seen it enough, I don't think Becky needs another run with the Intercontinental Championship, because I do think if we get a rematch at Mania, Becky's going to win the title back. I don't really care for that. I think Becky needs to move on up. I think Stephanie or whoever the champion is going to need some top-tier competition. I think Becky fits into that. She's, for the most part, played her character well outside these back-and-forth promos with AJ Lee, which hasn't hit for me. So I don't want to see the match. But now we're talking about Jessica Carr getting involved, and Becky's on this online crusade about talking to Adam Pearce, and she's a crooked referee, and there's a conspiracy out against her by Jessica Carr. Would WWE actually go out there and book Becky Lynch in a match against referee Jessica Carr at WrestleMania as a showcase match if all the other women's matches at WrestleMania deliver and are of a big WrestleMania feel? I think doing this one match with Becky would actually go pretty well if all the other matches kind of hold their weight.
Why not? Building tension and hatred between them for months. It's got to climax at some point. What's the end game here? She's had this on again, off again, hot and cold feud with a referee now for like at least 6 months. Where's it leading if not a match?
I have no idea.
I would be fine with having... Look, we know that next week they're going to have a number one contenders match to crown a number one contender for the women's IC title.
Yep.
And so in the match, you've got Io Sky, Asuka, Raquel...
Bailey, right?
Bailey, Lyra, and then Ivy Nile is in that match.
I'll tell you who's not winning that one.
I'll tell you who's winning. Ivy Nile is winning.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
really?
yeah.
Really?
I think that's why she's in the match.
Man, you're quite the gambler over there, man.
I mean, hey, I'm going to Vegas in a few weeks. So I got to start gambling. Look, think about it. What did AJ say last night when she ended her promo? She said, "The next time you see me in this ring, I'm going to be defending my title. So this match next week is not about a number one contender for WrestleMania. They never said that. They just said a number one contender. So what I think is going to happen is the one person in that fucking match that they know full well everybody thinks is going to lose is going to win. And then they'll be able to do a match on TV after that with AJ and Ivy Nile, and AJ will get a win over Ivy Nile. She could defend her title on TV. And then after that, we'll find out who the actual number one contender is going to be at WrestleMania. That's what I think is going to happen.
I see it completely different because after last night's Raw, Rhea's moving to SmackDown. She's got Jade. This leaves Io with no opponent. I know for a fact this is not going to lead to a WrestleMania match coming out of this gauntlet match next week. I said Io wins the gauntlet match, wrestles AJ at Madison Square Garden. Io is fucked over by Asuka at Madison Square Garden. We built to Io versus Asuka with Kairi Sane being the centerpiece of that feud because Kairi's being bullied. And we do Io versus Asuka at WrestleMania with Kairi kind of choosing between Asuka and Io and eventually chooses Io and goes babyface.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it. You could do it. But I looked at it and I went, okay, she's either in the match to lose or she's in the match to win, and they're going to swerve everybody. And they want to do a title match on television with her and get a win under her belt. And so they could just feed Ivy Nile to AJ Lee. And then coming out of that win, coming out of that match, we'll get a sense of what her direction for WrestleMania is going to be. It just seems so obvious to me. Like, why else would she be in the match? Like, of course, everybody's going to think she's going to lose. That's why I think.
Well, I certainly think she's going to lose.
I'm sure most people do. I'm like, I go watch these sons of bitches are going to have her actually win the fucking match.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. I don't know. I'm going Io. Jason's going Ivy Nile.
I'm going Ivy Nile. Yes, I am betting the farm on Ivy Nile in this match.
What do we got here? Tic Tat in the chat says Paige return. No, but Paige and AJ Lee at WrestleMania. I mean, that's nah. We're not going there yet. No.
We have plenty of women on the roster who are fighting for a potential shot here.
Give me Roxanne Perez and AJ Lee at WrestleMania. Yeah. How about that? Okay, it's a story that sells itself. Roxanne has idolized AJ Lee for how long?
As long as Roxanne is able to be back in time, because she had surgery. She's out right now. She had a benign tumor on her back that she had removed. So I would suspect she'll be back, with plenty of time for WrestleMania. But right now she's out, and we'll see. But yeah, she's someone who would be tailor-made for an IC title run.
Yeah. We'll see what happens there. So WWE has a couple of different directions for both of these ladies. As long as we don't get the rematch between AJ and Becky, I think a lot of people are just over it. Finn Balor. We had him and CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship, and it was very, very clear that this Chicago crowd was not as entertained as they usually are for a pro wrestling show. And I think a lot of it was, I guess the silence was just louder than any other point in the show for this match, because you got CM Punk coming out to Sirius by the Alan Parsons Project. They got fucking Ray Clay, the Chicago Bulls PA announcer, out there doing his thing with him. And then Cult of Personality hits. Everybody was excited for the introduction, which was great, and it was symbolic for Chicago. But then the bell rang, Jason, and there was nothing wrong with the match. But WWE and Triple H, I don't really understand if they understand that the more predictable the match is, I genuinely feel this has a huge effect on what the crowd is going to do and the energy that they give back to the product. Like, you're in Chicago against Finn Balor, and you got this mega match with Roman Reigns looming over the shadow of everything right now. Why would you ruin that? So who expects Finn Balor to win this match and the championship? Nobody.
Yeah, he's a lame duck. He's a warm body in the ring. They already told you what the main event of WrestleMania is. Nothing is interrupting.
It's going to be Balor and Reigns, bro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. And then the story could be that, hey, I beat you in my Raw debut 10 years ago. That'll be the story going into the match. We already know what the match is. That couple, look, there's a lot going on here. You want to be honest, okay? Number one, they told you what the WrestleMania main event is going to be. That's first and foremost. Nobody bought into the idea that anybody, let alone Finn Balor, is going to take that championship away from CM Punk. So right there off the bat, you're losing some of the drama that you would hope to have. Okay, that's number one. Number two, they have done a piss poor job for years now of using Finn Balor in a way to where you would look at him as somebody that you can buy into as a world heavyweight champion, right? Not that he doesn't have the talent to have a run as the world heavyweight champion, but has he been utilized in that way? You tell me. Am I wrong or am I right?
No, you're not wrong.
Okay, so that's part of it too. And then we talk about the crowd, okay? And I've talked about this before. They continue to raise ticket prices with these audiences. And they talk about pricing elasticity. Mark Shapiro made the comment the other day about pricing elasticity, meaning there's still room to raise prices. We think we could do better. Okay, is basically what he's saying. Okay,
Record-breaking Gates, fucking for elimination. We can do better. What the fuck are you talking about?
We haven't bled them totally dry yet. I think there's still room for improvement here. So think about the prices that so many of these tickets are going for, especially when you're looking at the hard cam, right? We're looking at people who are basically sitting on their hands. Those are the most expensive seats. Who do you think are buying these seats, right?
Not
Who are buying
casuals.
these seats? Rich people who can afford to buy them and are not going to go to the show and are going to lose their minds and scream their heads off. That's what idiots like you and me would do. But we're not the ones that are sitting in those seats. So that's part of it also. I told you, it's changing the makeup of these audiences. I am convinced of it because these are not the same people that you were used to seeing who are making noises and bringing signs and all these chants and everything we're so used to seeing. Those are not the same people. They're pricing those people out.
If you guys watch Revolution on the 15th, AW Revolution, look at the crowd reaction from that show compared to this show. And you'll understand a little bit more clearly what Jason's trying to say.
Yes. So I can't say that's the only reason for it, but that is absolutely part of what we are seeing, because the people who would normally be able to pay to sit in those seats are not able to do it. Or if they are, they're up in the nosebleeds, and even those are expensive. And so you're not going to hear those people necessarily from all the way up top. That's part of what's going on here. So you wonder, like, man, why are these crowds not reacting to anything? It's like it's like I'm watching, like a show at Corrigan Hall or something, except those people have more respect for what they're seeing than a lot of these people.
And we get more wrestling over there than we do over here.
Oh, we get a lot more wrestling over there. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on here. So all these things, I think, conspired against what otherwise was a good match. It was a good match. There was nothing wrong with the match itself.
No.
It started slow, and, he was working over a body part, and Punk made a comeback, and he was bleeding from the mouth or whatever. But, look, Punk Cena in Chicago, this was not. So there you go. That match had a story going into it. Two big stars. You could buy into either one of them winning. Hot crowd. That's what you hope for. But that's not what this was. We knew this was just it was a stopgap until we get to, Roman Reigns back on TV on Monday night.
They didn't do anything as far as progressing the story on Saturday night with the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, Dominic, JD McDonough. There was no tension. Judgment Day wasn't even out there. Balor just went out there by himself. I was hoping to see a little bit of a story here because of the predictable outcome. I think WWE is just allergic to doing anything on these PLEs. They want to go as simple as possible, in and out, and then goodbye. So we got whatever tension there was on Monday instead of Saturday. At the end of the match, GTS, 1, 2, 3, Balor shook Punk's hand, and he said on Monday night that he was happy with the way things went and the way things went down. So we'll talk about Balor and the Judgment Day.
Balor didn't say that. Balor said he wasn't happy with how it went down, but he's at peace with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're at peace, you're okay with it.
No, he said he's not happy about the way things went. He fucking lost, dude.
He's not happy about not winning the World Championship. I understand.
I'm really happy with how things went down on Saturday.
He's content.
He's not. He's at peace.
Okay.
He's at peace, but it is incorrect to say that he was okay with losing again to the guy twice. That's not exactly correct, but okay.
All right, well, he's at peace, and we'll talk about that a little bit later because there was some tension, and hopefully it leads to something with the Judgment Day as Dominic lost that IC title to Penta. We'll talk about that later. So now we get to the point in the show where the mystery is unveiled. What's in the box? Danhausen, he debuted as Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, both GMs of Raw and SmackDown, had crowbars, and they pried this thing open right there on stage. And the crate opens, and then the front of the crate falls down to the floor. And we see in the crate is a wooden coffin. And then the wooden coffin opens, and we have nothing but fog and smoke coming out of it. And then all of a sudden, we see a bunch of dancing ladies of the night come out, dressed as Danhausen. And then all of a sudden, the man himself appears, and he comes.
Ladies of the night, really. You realize one of them was Danhausen's wife. You just called her a lady of the night.
Not in that type of way, but you know what
I don't think that's going to go over too well. Better clean that up.
She's out there, they're out there, and Danhausen himself comes on out. I want to start and say something positive because I was very negative about the actual debut. I don't know how you felt about it. I didn't listen to your chamber review yet, but I actually thought that the theme music fit him perfectly. I actually went and found it on YouTube. I thought it actually is one of the better themes that WWE's given a new star coming on into the company. Presentation was good. It fit Danhausen and his silly gimmick. Whatever he is, undead, vampire. I don't know what exactly he is. A ghoul. I don't know what he is, but he's got
a ghoul bird.
I don't know what he is, but he's a creature. He's got his jar of teeth. I did like the added effect of the one plume of fireworks that just kind of went poof. You know, it's like a fucking silly magician doing some shitty magic acts. You know, I thought the presentation was good. I did not expect him to get booed when the entire spiel was over on Saturday night. But I'm not going to blame these people for booing because I honestly think that's more on WWE than it is on Danhausen because they built this thing up for 3 weeks. Who's in the box? Fans are paying big money to sit there, and they wanted something a little bit more grandiose. They wanted something a little bit more of a larger scale, WrestleMania-esque, you know. Danhausen's not really that. And then he dances. They got a nice little number in the ring. Lights go out, and then all of a sudden he's gone, and everybody disappears. So then the boos start coming down. Now, I don't know. What did you think of the overall, at least presentation part, Jason? Did you think that WWE did a good job with him?
Yes, but I think the mistake was doing it on this show.
I agree.
So I just think it was the wrong time for it, and just the way it was all built up. I think it could have been done differently, but I mean, like you said, in terms of the music, and he had the dancers and everything, that was fine, and the little puff of pyro there at the end was kind of funny. That thought never even crossed my mind. I don't know why it didn't, because this is WWE, that they might change his name and they might change aspects of his presentation. So I like the fact that he is keeping the name Danhausen. And really, he's keeping everything about the character, the name, the teeth, and he's got that music and everything. So that, I think, is a positive. I don't know. God only knows what they would have called him if he had to change his name. I mean, what do you think they would have called him? I don't want to know. Daniel Hausen? I don't know. God only knows. So it's good that they let him keep his name. And I think people just need to understand, like, what Danhausen is. He is comedy relief. And so there's always room for comedy relief on the show. I find him amusing. I mean, I like Danhausen, and I think that if you kind of just see him for what he is, he has his place on the show, then there's nothing wrong with it. You know, whatever they're paying him, I think they're going to make that money back just probably in merch alone. And they can utilize him across different brands. It doesn't just have to be Raw. It could be SmackDown. It could be NXT. It could be AAA, wherever they have a need for him. I'm sure he'll be doing segments in the back with some of the lower card, mid card guys, R-Truth and stuff like that. Yeah, they were using him in that way on Raw last night. It's kind of funny, we saw him on Raw last night, and he was interacting with the Judgment Day. And I'm looking at them, and I'm like, he would actually, it kind of sounds weird, but he would actually, I think, be a good fit for the Judgment Day. I think that there's comedy gold in that. If they were, I don't know how he would be welcomed in, but if he was part of the Judgment Day, I actually think that could work.
Well, on my Friday Night SmackDown stream, I said, just look at where the crate has been backstage and who's been mingling around the crate. You knew it was going to end up being someone that wasn't really all that important. It's like around fucking Apollo Crews and Kit Wilson backstage. It's like, who's it going to be? Yeah, who's it going to be?
Fucking Johnny Gargano's laying on top of it. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, you had to know it wasn't going to be main event level star popping out of it. I just think the timing of it, they built it up in such a way, and instead of giving us an extra match on the show, they built up this crate reveal. The 2 general managers were going to be there. And so, yeah, you're going to have some people who maybe don't even really know who the fuck Danhausen is. And they're like, what the hell is this? They've been building this up for a couple weeks now, and this is the big payoff. It's the same reaction that a lot of people had when the gobbledygooker hatched from the egg at Survivor Series. Now, it's a fucking egg, so I don't really know what people were expecting, but you had this creature, turkey, whatever the hell it was. I don't even know what the hell. I don't even know what it was.
This
but
creature.
Is this a creature? I mean, what the fuck was it, dude? It wasn't a turkey. What was it? An alien? That fucking golf balls for giant eyes. Like, I don't know what the fuck.
It's supposed to be a turkey for Thanksgiving.
A turkey for Thanksgiving. Yes, a turkey for Thanksgiving with multiple birth defects.
The Thanksgiving tradition, Survivor Series.
Something went very wrong in that hatching process, but whatever it was supposed to be the annual mascot, and it didn't work out that way for the gobbledygookers. So, yeah, you know, you're going to have people who are disappointed, and it's understandable that they would be disappointed. But I'm happy to see Danhausen at least, you know, he's finally here, and now he will be the comic relief on the show where they need him. I don't expect him to be wrestling that much, honestly.
No, I mean, I don't want to see him wrestle on the main shows. If they want to put him in the ring with fucking Mr. Iguana or something like that on AAA, it's fine. Just I don't want to see it here in the States.
No, well, he'll have a match,
sure,
too. I'm just saying he's not. I don't look at him as someone who's going to be in the ring on a regular basis.
No, we'll be getting Truthhausen before all is said and done, no doubt about it. But
I mean, the way things are going, we might get L.A. Nighthausen. It might be his future.
I don't know. It's not looking good for him. We'll talk about it. It's not looking good for LA Knight over there.
Talk about cursed.
Gobbledygooker was mentioned by Meltzer. He said this was basically the gobbledygooker. Meltzer went on to say that the decision to bring in Danhausen under Triple H's creative regime was met with resistance from some corners of the office. He says people pushed for him. There were people who didn't want him. It was not a unanimous decision or anything like that. I would guess.
I know who didn't want him.
I guess the people who didn't want him.
I'm sure Bruce was having flashbacks to 1990. He's like, not again, not again. I can't get behind this again.
We don't care what he has to say. I would guess that the people who didn't want him are thinking, sure didn't work out so well this time, but time will tell. He'll get another chance. Triple H did say with, I don't know who, I think it was Kathy Kelly on the post show for.
He wouldn't go out in front of the fans. He stayed backstage with Kathy Kelly. I thought that was very telling.
He was backstage with Kathy Kelly. We went from having post-show media scrums in front of content creators and media to then him being out in front of the fans, and then he got heckled with AEW chants and bring back Vince chants, and now he's not even out there. He's backstage in Gorilla with Kathy Kelly. It's like, all right, bro.
It was, remember, we want Cross. We want Cross. And he's like, you wanted Brock? You got him. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Oh my God!
So now he's like hidden away in the gorilla position with Kathy, with the Jackie Redmond answering questions.
So he says Michael Cole got a nice bucket of teeth. I think we're in for a fun time. Whatever it is, it's going to be a blast. He says backstage. So then an actual report came out from Sean Ross Sapp about Danhausen, details why he joined WWE, plans, and internal reactions. So Sapp says that his deal expired on February 28th. That lined up with what Fightful reported months ago. Danhausen had requested that AEW not pick up his option or extend him due to injury time, but it happened anyway. And it happened to Chris Jericho. It's going to happen to anybody. Fightful reported last year that a number of sources in WWE indicated there was at least interest in bringing him into the company. Now, Danhausen was always planned to be in the box from the time the crates show up on Raw. We're told there are no real issues regarding him negotiating a deal upon his exit. There are provisions in contracts that limit what can and can't be negotiated during contracts, but it gets to a point where all sides generally look the other way, as it would be a waste of time to exercise it. WWE sources indicated that Danhausen was pretty well planned, or always planned, to use his name and gimmick, although there may have been other pitches for possible changes. It is interesting to note that WWE quickly edited the Powerhouse Hobbs part of Royce Key's entrance from the Royal Rumble last month. Wrestling Observer reported that Danhausen coming in was not a unanimous decision. That's usually the case with many talent. Those in the company we spoke to say they expect he will be utilized across a number of brands, like Jason just said, including AAA when necessary. Regarding his reaction at the Elimination Chamber, one source wondered why the company would debut him with hype in a box after the "if it comes out of a box" joke has been made for years on end during Bruce Pritchard's podcasts. If you come out of a box, you're instantly over. Not on this night, so Bruce had a great laugh at that one, I'm sure. Another source said they believed his reaction will fit well into his character. And he ended up being on Monday Night Raw, and theoretically he cursed Dominic, and Dominic lost the IC title to Penta. So Basically spot on there, Jason, with everything you said. He's going to be used across multiple brands. He's going to have the same gimmick that he's always had. He's going to be comedy relief. You know, I enjoyed him more on Monday and his interaction with Pearson the Judgment Day than I did the debut on Saturday night at the Chamber. So I'm willing to give it some time. As long as he doesn't do anything that he shouldn't be doing, I think I'll be all right.
Like what?
Wrestling.
He's going to wrestle.
I know, but I don't want to see it all that often. There's a time and a place for comedy, and I think you got to use it sparingly. That's all I'll say.
I just love how you're like, as long as they don't have him doing what he shouldn't be doing. And I ask you, and he's a wrestler. Wrestle.
Is he a wrestler? He's more of a comedian than he is a wrestler to me, anyway.
I mean, you could be both. What I think is kind of funny, man, if Tony Khan really wanted, so the entire time the plan was for the crate reveal to be Danhausen, right?
Yeah.
Man, if Tony Khan really wanted to fuck these guys over, can you imagine, like, at the 11th hour, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna tack some time on because of that injury that you had. We didn't tack enough on, so we're gonna tack on another month. What would WWE do in that situation?
I don't know.
What would be their plan B for the crate?
I don't know. It's a good question.
I don't know either. They would have been fucked.
They would have been fucked, but I don't think Chicago would have minded. Speaking of Royce Keys, I don't know where Royce Keys is. I know he's on the show via these clips of the Stephanie McMahon podcast, but
somebody said Brockhausen. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Like,
I would actually like that interaction. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, look, he's got an open challenge going, so who's to say that, like, fucking Danhausen doesn't come out to accept the open challenge?
I would actually find that highly entertaining, man. I hope that they actually do that.
I hope so too. Now that I mentioned it, I would like to see that. Yes.
Just a quick deviation away from our Elimination Chamber coverage here. Royce Keys was mentioned in this report by SAP. There was news on Royce Keys. I even questioned way back when why they even debuted him in the Royal Rumble if they weren't going to use him. It's like they flew him out there, put him in there. He was in there for 10 minutes. He got one elimination, and then out he goes. So apparently WrestleVotes, they talked about Royce Keys today, and this was aggregated negatively because they added or they put words in WrestleVotes' mouth, which is par for the course on social media. It was revealed that while Keys has been present at recent television taping because he's working main event, and there's nothing right now for him in the works. The report highlighted a lack of concrete ideas for how to integrate him into the ongoing storylines as the company moves toward its biggest show of the year, WrestleMania. So TC says nothing, big question mark, absolutely nothing. You know, we had speculated that SmackDown was the place for him. It certainly does seem like that's going to be his home. I know he was backstage Friday night, saw some pictures of him, don't know when he's showing up on TV. Hopefully they have an idea. Hopefully that is part of the plan. His absence from the actual broadcast led to frustration among people who were impressed by his performance in the Royal Rumble, where he eliminated Damian Priest before being tossed out by Bronson Reed. Now, internal reports previously suggested a planned program with Damian Priest, but that was scrapped heading into WrestleMania 42. And while he's active behind the scenes, he was at the WWE headquarters, like I said, filming, obviously, Stephanie McMahon's podcast, and he's worked dark matches against Nathan Frazier and some other guys on SmackDown. So, you know, a lot of people are making a big deal about this, Jason. It goes back to Triple H, why he debuted him in the Royal Rumble. He wanted that big surprise because they didn't really have many surprises for the Royal Rumble, but it makes you question why they even flew him out there to begin with, if this was going to be the plan all along, not to feature him on television following that. But I'm okay with it. What I would have done is sent him to NXT if they're going to keep him off television for this long. Get him some reps down there. Give him 6 months down there. Call him up around SummerSlam, and then you're on your way. But they're keeping him off television, but they're showing these clips of the Stephanie McMahon podcast, and people are starting now to ask questions. He's obviously been on TV for AEW. WWE is a different beast as compared to AEW, so he has to learn the ropes here to do what they need to do. But this is probably all leading to him maybe showing up after WrestleMania. They wanted to give you an idea. This guy's coming in, you know a little bit about him, and then after WrestleMania, he's off to the races. I don't know why people are making a big deal about this.
Well, I'm making a big deal about it because, again, like you said, he was in the Royal Rumble, and they've been showing for a few weeks now the same clip over and over again of him on Stephanie's podcast. He's crying. He's telling his story, and it doesn't seem like it's really leading anywhere anytime soon. So if they are going to hold him, and that's what I think is going on here, I don't think they have a match for him at WrestleMania. So what they're going to do is just stall, and then maybe on that first Raw, or depending on what brand, it could be SmackDown. I think he should go on SmackDown personally. But coming out of WrestleMania, maybe then they'll have a story for him, and then it'll be off to the races, because he doesn't really fit into any of the WrestleMania plans unless they have him in the Andre Battle Royal and he wins the Battle Royal.
Yes,
but honestly,
that makes someone's career for sure, right?
But honestly, if Oba Femi is not the one to accept Brock Lesnar's open challenge, and after last night, I have my doubts about that. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, I could see them having Oba win the Battle Royal if he doesn't end up with an actual, WrestleMania match.
Why do you feel that way? You make me sad saying that.
Well, I feel that way because I have a feeling, and I was wondering about this, if maybe part of the reason they're even doing this Brock Open Challenge and stalling things out like this is because they're just not sure if Braun Breaker is going to be ready in time for WrestleMania for Seth Rollins. And if Braun Breaker is not going to be ready in time for WrestleMania for Seth Rollins, are we looking at Seth Rollins against Brock Lesnar? Because after what we saw last night, Paul Heyman got the shit beaten out of him by Seth Rollins. I would imagine Brock's not going to be too happy about that. When he sees what happened to his advocate, are we looking at Rollins and Brock as a fallback plan if Braun Breaker is not healthy enough for WrestleMania?
I mean, I didn't even think of that. I that's the only thing I didn't mention on my show last night. I said, a lot of people looking at Oba, and we got to report on Oba in a little bit here with Brock. But I think with LA Knight driving the ambulance last night, I don't think that rumor should be completely shut down with LA Knight and Brock Lesnar yet.
No, it shouldn't be completely shut down, but we also weren't talking about the possibility that Seth Rollins could be in that spot. And given what Seth did to Paul Heyman last night, and the last time we saw Brock on TV last week, he was with Paul Heyman, there could be something there.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into that discussion. We're going to finish this chamber review here. We got the men's chamber, final match of the night here on Saturday night. Javon Evans, LA Knight, Randy Orton, Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes, and Trick Williams. Entrances took 19 minutes. Everybody did their aura farming. And it went 19 minutes for entrances, and like Jason said, 25 minutes for the actual match. This was shorter than what I remember a lot of Elimination Chamber matches being. I think last year's was like closer to 30, 34 minutes. I'm not sure. But this, to me, Jason, was as uneventful of a match that I could possibly remember in the chamber. And I think with everything that we got on this night, that this was the biggest disappointment because I was looking forward to this the most out of everything, and it just was a complete letdown. Now, the last two guys in the ring are the only thing that really needs to be mentioned here. It's Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. But before we get to that, I know a lot of people made a big deal about the LA Knight spot with him doing the jumping elbow. And I know I made a big deal about it. Not that I want to see that type of thing happen, but I kind of half-heartedly joked that all the LA Knight enthusiasts want to see him in a major match at WrestleMania. I want to see him potentially win a King of the Ring or a Money in the Bank and maybe get a World Championship run this year at some point because he deserves it. And he does. He's one of the biggest baby faces they have. But to do that spot there, Jason, I know he hits it more times than not. Like, I had secondhand embarrassment watching that because just the way the whole vibe of the show was, and then you're looking forward to this match, and it's not really living up to advertisement for a chamber match, and then you see that, it's like, Jesus Christ, how worse can this show get? It's like that whole spot was like a symbolic way to just look at this entire show, man. Just one big fuck up. Like, I was actually sad for him. I don't know how you felt about it.
It wasn't just him slipping. I mean, look, people slip, and he's slipped before, right? It's not the first time that's happened. He could have fallen on his face, like the demon. It could have been worse. So it was embarrassing, but it wasn't even just that, dude. It was the whole sequence. It was the whole sequence because he slips off the ropes, and you could hear the fans like groan.
Yeah.
And then immediately right after that, he gets nut-shotted by Logan Paul and then rolled up and pinned.
Who eliminated 3 guys, by the way.
Yeah. So again, pinned and beaten by the Vision. So like when you look at it in totality, that's really what makes it just so bad. So it was not a good night for LA Knight. But I'm also looking at that going, this is the match that people think WrestleMania is going to be, Brock Lesnar against LA Knight. It's possible. I don't see it. It was just not a good sequence of events for him. And yeah, look, the spot with Logan eliminating 3 guys, it's very clear it was designed for Bronson Reed.
Yes.
So they just gave it to Logan,
Yes.
but it fucking killed the crowd. Not that the crowd was.
It was
all
supposed to
that
be Braun
active before
Breaker,
that.
and then it was supposed to be Bronson Reed, and then it'll be a Logan Paul. So it's like
It ended up being Logan Paul eliminating 3 men, and like, dude, you could hear a pin drop in that building. And so, really, the only part of the match that really mattered was the last 60 seconds, if we're being perfectly honest.
yes.
But we had the nonsense with the masked men. So, like on Friday, in the match with Jacob Fatu and Logan Paul, which was necessitated by Jey Uso being attacked by a mystery person at the beginning of the show, no yeet in the Elimination Chamber, the masked man came out. And Logan Paul unmasked the masked man, and the masked man was a guy. We didn't see him. We've never seen him before. We had no idea who he was, and he got taken away. So now we get to Elimination Chamber 24 hours later. We have another masked man scaling the side of the chamber. And he gets pulled down and he's being taken away. And Adam Pearce comes out and pulls the mask off, and it's another guy.
Now, wait, before you continue, what would scaling the side of the Elimination Chamber do for someone like this masked guy? Why would he climb why would he climb the side of the cage? He just wanted to show off his athleticism. What the fuck was he doing?
I mean, the door was wide open. I don't think he tried to get in the door. So, I mean, I don't know. You'd have to ask him. But we've never seen this man before in our lives. So he gets taken away. That's 2 masked men in 24 hours. Then we got another masked man. And this time the masked man ended up being Seth Rollins because he stomped Logan Paul. He unmasked after Logan Paul gets eliminated. And then Rollins leaves. And so now we're down to Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. And this is really the only part of the match that matters. And this was the final 2 that I was hoping that we would actually get. The door is still open.
And the referees, by the way, are still in the line. We're just watching everything happen. They made no attempt to even close the door.
Yeah, the door is wide open, okay? And so Drew McIntyre now, he's like, well, fuck, the door's open. So he comes down and he blasts Cody in the head with the WWE title. And he gets inside the chamber and he's kicking his ass. And Randy's watching this. And then eventually he gets tired. He goes over and he drops Drew McIntyre with an RKO. And he pops up and Cody grabs him and he delivers a crossroads. And then as soon as Cody Rhodes gets to his feet, Randy Orton drops him with an RKO. Unlike Sami Zayn, unlike Cody Rhodes in the past, he doesn't hesitate. So he drops him and he pins him. And I believe that was your prediction, right, for the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Randy Orton wins the chamber. Randy Orton is guaranteed now a title match at WrestleMania. And Cody Rhodes is just a sad panda because his WrestleMania hopes and dreams have been dashed. And I like the finish as far as Randy Orton winning. I have no issue with that at all. And then as I'm getting ready to go live, I realize that they are shooting a big angle. So the biggest thing to happen on Saturday didn't even happen on the PLE. It actually happened when the show was over. Because Nick Aldis and Drew McIntyre, they're almost coming to blows. Nick Aldis has to be restrained. He goes, you know what? I've had enough of this. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. This Friday on SmackDown, we're going to have Drew McIntyre defending the WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes. So even though Cody lost the chamber, he's getting a title match first. And so that match now has been made for Friday. And in one night, they could completely just upend the entire WWE title picture heading into WrestleMania. Because what they can do is put the belt back on Cody, which I tend to think is what's probably going to happen. And we're going to get Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton one-on-one at WrestleMania. Now, keep in mind, when they did 3 Stages of Hell, we heard all the reports that Triple H was undecided about what to do. Drew McIntyre was lobbying to win the title. Cody agreed with him. And then ultimately, Levesque made the decision to go with the title change. And at the time, we were saying, like, you got to do a title change. Like, you can't, if you just go in there and beat Drew McIntyre again, how awful is that going to be for Drew McIntyre? He had to win. It's okay to put the title on him, even if it's only for a short period of time. Well, he won the championship 2 months ago. And here we are. And there's a very high probability they're going to take the title off of him on Friday. And it sucks for him if they do that. But you know what? I'm okay with it because we said this from the get-go. It might just be for a short period of time, but they had to do something to shake things up. Now we're looking potentially at Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. That's a WrestleMania main event for the WWE Championship. That's a match I could get behind. But the best thing to come out of Elimination Chamber is look at all of the chaos around the WWE title scene right now on SmackDown. Drew, Cody, Randy, Jacob, Sammy. This is good. This is a good thing. They're creating interest. They're creating intrigue in what's the match going to be at WrestleMania. Is it going to be multi-man? Is it going to be one-on-one? This is what I've been hoping for because everything's been so fucking stagnant and dead that this is exactly what SmackDown needs right now. So I think this is a good thing.
I think there's one part of this entire story that people are just kind of overlooking. And if you remember the sit down with Nick Aldis and Drew McIntyre at their quote unquote home, or Drew McIntyre's home, where Cody came to the front lawn and they started brawling in front of a little pond and a palm tree in the front yard. When they sat down in the back, Nick Aldis and Drew McIntyre, there was a contract that was signed. And in that contract, Cody is not allowed to get a championship match as long as he's the champion. He's got to earn his way back to the championship, whether it's through the Royal Rumble or the Elimination Chamber. Now, I don't know if that's going to come into effect here because Nick Aldis is blatantly defying the contract that Drew McIntyre and Nick Aldis had agreed to sign. So I don't know if that's going to sway the outcome or what the WrestleMania main event is looking like. So I ask you, Jason, what do you think WWE is going to end up doing? Do they go with getting everybody involved because of Drew McIntyre's consequences and he pays for his actions in totality at WrestleMania? Or do they go and make WrestleMania the best show that it could be, going with Randy and Cody, going with Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu? Maybe they do Sammy and Trick Williams, and they just give us these great singles matches instead of putting everybody in the same match all at the same time. Which direction do you think they're going to go?
I think that we are going to have Cody Rhodes winning the championship back on Friday. I think they're going to get back to what their original plan was. I mean, the original idea, I'm sure, was that Cody goes into WrestleMania as the champion. And so I think they're just going to revert back to that on Friday, and we're going to get Cody and Randy finally. I mean, we've been waiting for this match for so long just because of the history between them. They've been friends on TV. We've only gotten the match once the entire time that Cody's been back, and it wasn't anything that was built up. It was a King of the Ring final. That's the only time that we've had them in the ring one-on-one. So to me, that's going, story-wise, that's going to be the strongest match I think that you could do. And then you could do Drew, like you said, you could do Drew and Fatu. I would even think Fatu probably gets involved in some way and maybe
cost them the title.
Well, yes, but like he's not exactly fond of Cody either. So you can have this like maybe one moment where it's like, what's he going to do? But his hatred for Drew, supersedes his hatred for Cody. And he provides the assist, and that's what, kind of tips the scales in Cody's favor. But by him screwing Drew out of the championship, that also now puts more heat on a possible match between the two of them. And then, like you said, Sammy, I know we've talked about maybe, wanting to see Trick and Mello for the U.S. title, but they've really been dropping a lot of hints about Sammy and Trick because Trick just keeps mocking him and bullying him and walking up to him in the back and laughing at him. And so I think that's probably the WrestleMania match for Sami Zayn. It's probably him and Trick Williams.
Well, according to bodyslam.net, that's exactly what they're going for. According to sources, bodyslam.net is reporting that WWE has discussed the idea of Trick Williams or Sami Zayn at WrestleMania 42. Williams and Zayn have had several interactions with each other since Williams got called up. And outside of a house show match, Williams and Zayn have only been in the ring once together on TV in a undisputed championship match, which was a number one contender fatal four-way. So I know I've been pushing for the Trick and Mello match for the United States Championship. If they give us Sammy and Trick, which I don't mind because I think Trick needs the big stage for sure, I hope that Mello finds his way on the card. I mean, it would be just completely creative malpractice if not. I would say that they've been delaying on this Dragunov match. You think we get Mello versus Dragunov for the United States title at WrestleMania? One final match between the two.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be fine.
Yeah.
If in fact he's going to be defending the title at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel the same way about Penta. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee of it. Now, there has been talk. I did see something. I don't know where it was reported that they're considering maybe a double turn if with Sami Zayn he goes heel. There's been other reports about Trick maybe going babyface because they see the reactions he's been getting.
Yeah, that's from WrestleBoss, by the way. They reported that.
My thing with Trick is don't leave it alone.
Yeah,
just leave it alone. He's organically getting over. If the fans want him to be a babyface, they'll dictate it. You could start maybe to, have him working against heels, but don't do anything to really change what he's doing. To me, that would be the worst thing they could do. Oh, well, the fans like him, so we gotta really start pushing him as a babyface now. That's the kiss of death. So just let him, for the time being, keep doing what he's doing. Let the reactions continue to build. And then if you want to pull the trigger on a full-blown turn at some point, you go ahead and do it. But I just feel don't meddle in what's working. And for Sammy, if they turn him heel, it just seems to me like they've been trending that way anyway, where he's just going to blow at some point and go heel regardless. So, I mean, I'm fine with that.
Sammy going heel before WrestleMania in Saudi next year.
True.
Yeah.
Plenty of time to turn him back before then.
Yeah. Well, that's the way the WWE title picture is looking like on SmackDown. Any possibility? Now, I know, I guess this probably don't even work out now that we just talked about what the likely outcome is, and what we talked about is probably the best way to go about it. I know I mentioned that WWE could realistically do Drew McIntyre versus Nick Aldis at WrestleMania. I know that's been kind of brewing for several months now, but looking at McIntyre and Aldis and then Jessica Carr and Becky Lynch on the same show, it's yeah.
You're not doing that.
No.
Maybe you get one. You ain't getting both.
No.
But it's there was talk of maybe last year. It actually was last year when Randy Orton had his mystery opponent at WrestleMania. Oh, it's going to be Nick Aldis.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Nick Aldis. There's been multiple times over the years where people have said, oh, Aldis can wrestle here. He can wrestle. And it never happens. So I'm sure he's always at the ready. I'm sure he's, more than capable of getting back into the ring and having a match at a moment's notice if that's what they want. But I would think Drew and Fatu would be the better way to go, because otherwise, what the hell did Jacob do at WrestleMania?
Nothing. And
I want Jacob sitting on the sidelines so fucking Nick Aldis can have a match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, no, it's more than likely going to end up being Drew and Fatu, and WWE is going to try and round out the WrestleMania card with big, substantial matches instead of putting everybody in the same match. I like that direction. Hopefully, they stick to that. Yeah,
and one more match that clearly they were teasing last night on Raw is the Usos against The Vision for the tag team titles.
Bring me a pillow. Nobody cares.
Well, I'm just saying that seems to be the direction after last night. And then also Nia and Lash, they just won the women's tag team titles. So you can imagine what the match is probably going to look like at WrestleMania, probably multiple teams.
Yeah.
Interesting that we have not seen the Bella Twins on television since that one night after the Rumble, where they declared that they wanted to go after the tag team titles. It's been a month and we have heard nothing from them.
Don't you worry. It'll be Brie mode before you know it.
Oh, I'm sure it will be. I'm sure they're getting Brie mode ready for Madison Square Garden later this month.
Yes, they are.
But I'm just saying, it's interesting. It's been a month and not even so much as a mention.
All right, so we'll pick it up on Monday Night Raw here. That was the Chamber thumbs down show. Not very good. And WWE right now, Triple H's administration in 26, 0 for 2 as far as PLEs. Rumble wasn't good outside the Styles and Gunther match. And this show on Saturday, not good. So he's got one last effort here for WrestleMania. It's sleeper show. It should not be. You should be setting us up for a fucking banger. So hopefully that's the case. Monday Night Raw. We started things off hot. And that was because the Vision started the show off and they wanted answers from Seth Rollins, who eventually did show up on Monday Night Raw as he laid out Paul Heyman. And we had more masked man hijinks. We had how many masked men last night, Jason? It was four of them last night, right?
4 fucking guys. I think we had one of them got chased off by Austin Theory. One of them got chased off by Logan Paul. We had a decoy in the aisle to distract Paul Heyman, and then we had Seth Rollins come up from behind Paul Heyman with a chair, and he hit him in the back. So if you're keeping score, going back to Friday, we had one masked man on Friday. We had two or three. We had 2. At Elimination Chamber.
That's 3.
We had 4 last night.
7.
And
And there's a fetish in this company, I'm certain of it. Dragon Lee was unmasked in his match with Gunther. 8 unmaskings, bro. Actually, no, not 8 unmasked, but 8 masked situations on Monday Night Raw. WWE.
Well, I mean, Gable was trying to rip Kaiser's mask off.
Nine unmasking situations.
Yes. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then I think it was during one of the commercial breaks in the Intercontinental match. And I think Dominic was like tying Penta's mask to the rope, which we've seen before. But yeah, in terms of like unmaskings or attempted unmaskings, yes. I mean, so many that I don't even have enough fingers on my hands to count. It's ridiculous.
Someone on the writing team is clearly watching blocks of Scooby-Doo. So I don't know. Very weird, very weird. If it's not unmaskings, it's theft with this company. That's all they've done the last 12 to 18 months. So those are the storylines. So Rollins laid out Paul Heyman, stomp. He ended up bleeding. And that's the way Monday Night Raw started. So we go to the back, and Heyman was dragged away. He was put in the back of an ambulance. He was on a gurney. He was there with the EMTs. Logan Paul left to go get the rental car. A rental car shows up. Theory thinks it's Logan Paul with the rental car. Out comes Jimmy Uso. He throws Austin Theory into some production crates. Jimmy Uso walks over to the ambulance. Inside the ambulance, driving the ambulance is LA Knight. So he's going to take care of Paul Heyman. He does this whole spiel, and he drives away with Paul Heyman in the back of the ambulance.
Where to, Paul?
Where? Yeah. So.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was comical, the way that they kind of bled one situation into the next. But then I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my God, is this WWE telling us that the Usos are going to be going to WrestleMania with the vision for the tag team championships because there's nobody else?
That's exactly what they're saying. Well, we already know now. I mean, the Lucha Brothers reunion is dead, right? So that's clearly not happening.
The Hardy Boys aren't coming in.
Yeah, the Hardys aren't coming in. And so, I mean, realistically, who else is there for them to fight?
This is, I'm going to talk about this now. This is my prediction and my prediction only. I don't know how Jason feels about this. I genuinely think that we're going to get Braun Breaker back before WrestleMania. I think we're getting Breaker and Rollins. I don't know why I feel that way. I just think that.
Well, I mean, that's the obvious match,
yes.
Of course. That's if he's back in time, then they're going to do Braun Breaker and Seth
All right,
Rollins.
so that's the feeling. But what if he's not? What does Rollins do at Mania?
I told you what he does.
Brock Lesnar.
That's certainly an option.
So we're going to leave Oba Femi off the WrestleMania card.
Potentially, yes.
I hate that idea a lot. I
I
was thinking every which way how to not do this tag team title match. Like, we don't need the Vision going after the tag team titles. I was thinking maybe we add a member to the Vision. Maybe Ethan Page gets called up and we got 3 people on that side. And LA Knight teams with the Usos against the fucking Vision. You know, obviously we talked about the Bad Bunny situation with him and Seth Rollins teaming up against Logan Paul and Austin Theory. But where would that leave LA Knight? That would theoretically leave him off the WrestleMania card.
I don't know that they give a shit right now, to be honest with you. I don't think that's a priority for them.
I don't think they care either.
No. He'll be the host. He'll be the host of WrestleMania this year.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. I don't think they know.
How is it SmackDown is the worst show and they got more intriguing WrestleMania matches than Monday Night Raw does? That don't even make any sense to me. What are we doing here, man? Oh my God.
I don't know.
So yeah, that's the growing sentiment coming out of that segment. It's the Usos versus the Vision for the tag team championships. Speaking of which, WrestleMania, Gunther has no direction according to sources. It's undetermined what he's doing at WrestleMania. Imagine, Jason. We have the guy who retired John Cena going into WrestleMania, and his WrestleMania match is undetermined.
The guy who retired John Cena and AJ Styles back to back. Apparently, they're uncertain with what they want to do with him at WrestleMania.
I think it was pretty clear where we're going after this opening match last night. He wrestled Dragon Lee. This was a banger match. This was better than anything on the Elimination Chamber card.
Great match.
Great match. Gunther's just great. He gets the right level of heat. Dragon Lee is incredibly underrated and undervalued. He's fucking fantastic. So there was a spot outside where Lee hit Gunther with Operation Dragon. He gets back into the ring, 9.5, beats the referee's 10 count. Gunther ripped at Lee's mask. He ripped the mask off. You could see his face for like 0.5 seconds. It was all over social media. People were making a big deal about that. I don't know why. It was on television. Lee immediately tapped out to Gunther's sleeper. Now, nothing happened after the match. There was no follow-up. There was nobody coming out to Dragon Lee's rescue. So I've been saying this for weeks now, Jason. I don't know if you now feel the same way. Gunther, Rey Mysterio, I think that's where they're going, even though the report says undetermined. It's not really a desired WrestleMania match in some circles, and I think everybody thinks Gunther deserves a little bit bigger and better, but I mean, if you're going to put Gunther and Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania, there's no doubt that it's going to be a great match, and Gunther doesn't have bad matches. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing on the line, so it's like, it doesn't feel like a WrestleMania match to me.
No.
Doesn't mean it can't be a good match. I'm sure it will be a good match, as long as they don't do any of the retirement nonsense, because I just don't see Rey Mysterio retiring at WrestleMania. The only person, if anybody is going to retire Rey Mysterio, it needs to be Dominic Mysterio. That is not any kind of rub that Gunther needs. So that's the only thing. Like, you're going to do Gunther and Rey, and so what's it going to be? He's just going to beat Rey, and that's it?
I guess so. I mean,
Rey's not going to beat him. I mean, that would be awfully stupid.
Well, the career killer gimmick, it has a short shelf life, because unless you're retiring people every month, it's not going to work. It's like, so it's going to go away for a little bit until the next guy he actually can retire. Maybe they just put that on the shelf, and you know, he's an aging 50-year-old veteran who still has a couple years left. Maybe they put him down for pasture. I don't know. I don't know what Gunther's going to do. Maybe he's going to threaten to rip his mask off too.
That's going to be his new gimmick now. He ran out of people to retire, so now he's going to threaten to pull people's masks off.
He's disrespecting Lucha Libre. He ripped off Dragon Lee's mask, so obviously
if Paul Heyman was smart, what he would have done is recruited Gunther to unmask all of these fucking masked men that have been terrorizing the Vision now for weeks.
Yes.
That's his new gimmick.
Listen, it's shameful that WWE's got no plans for him outside that, but with the current direction, that's the only direction that we got. So that was a great start to the show. We got the Americanos. They were in there again. OG Gable Americano versus Ryo. They're still building up this OG versus Kaiser Americano.
7 weeks of this. Dude, 7.
Bro, I'm already tired of it. He came back at the Royal Rumble, and it's just the same shit every fucking week.
But 7 weeks. If they're going to do something at WrestleMania, because they mentioned Rey de Reyes, which I think is a AAA show coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah, they're part of a Fatal 4-Way for number one contender.
Fatal 4. Okay, so they're not doing a singles match. So yeah, I mean, 7 weeks. I mean, are we just going to have 7 more weeks of this bullshit?
Yeah.
Where they're trying to like rip each other's mask off?
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking lame.
I don't know. I'm not into it. Just get it over with. Unmask Gable, get him back in the singles Intercontinental title chase, and give Kaiser the gimmick. That's what I'm waiting for. So that's that. That's another WrestleMania match potentially on the card. We got Rusev and Oba Femi last night on Monday Night Raw. I didn't expect WWE to give us this match cold, so when Oba Femi came out in street clothes, I knew we weren't getting the match. So Rusev called out Oba Femi. Oba Femi answered Rusev's open challenge here, no question. But when Brock Lesnar said, anybody in the back there, as they played an Oba Femi, promo in the back before this segment.
Yeah, he was taking a shit.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
So they announced this match for next week, and should be good, but Rusev has...
But you know what? It would be even better if Rusev had actually been on television for the last few months, racking up wins.
Yeah. And
then he called out Oba Femi.
Yeah, well... I mean, you know, he came to WWE because he wanted to work more, you see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But he said he wanted to work more. He didn't say he wanted to wrestle more, did he? I think he said work. Yeah. So maybe he's been working in other capacities. Maybe he's been working behind the scenes, doing odd jobs here and there.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but
I don't know.
I'd like to see more Rusev, but we're getting that match next week. Now, according to the Wrestling Observer, now, I firmly believe Dave in his reporting here. WWE is well aware of fan interest in seeing Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi at WrestleMania. Now, I think after the segment where Brock Lesnar showed up, danced around, and they issued an open challenge for him at WrestleMania, and the crowd chanted, Oba, I think WWE is very well aware. So we showed up on the 23rd, issued the
wanted Brock. We gave you Brock.
Yeah, well.
Was that Brock? Is that what you're saying, Brock? Okay. We'll give you Brock.
He showed up in Atlanta, and they did nothing with him but issue the open challenge for WrestleMania. Despite the vocal fan support of Oba Femi, internal creative documents from late January 26 originally had Lesnar slated for a singles match with LA Knight. Hopefully that's not the case. Knight, alongside Cody Rhodes, was responsible for eliminating Lesnar from the Royal Rumble, if you guys remember, providing a clear storyline catalyst for that if they want it. However, Meltzer noted that while Knight and the match is the internal listing for Lesnar, the Rumble itself featured almost nothing to build towards that pairing, whereas the Lesnar-Femi face-off generated one of the biggest reactions of the night on the 23rd in Atlanta for Monday Night Raw. Now, I don't know how they're going to go about it, Jason. I think we talked about this last week. If they want to do Lesnar coming out for one of his scheduled appearances, two of his scheduled appearances, and maybe somebody comes out like a Danhausen or something like that, where it's just like kind of funny, makes you laugh, but we know it's not the real match for WrestleMania. I can do that, and then out comes Oba Femi to the defense of whoever the poor jobber is. But I have a feeling, and I mentioned this on Monday Night Raw last night with my review, I have a feeling WWE, they don't know what they want for Brock Lesnar. You may be correct in saying that they're waiting for Braun Breaker to come back, and they don't know, and they're waiting because of that whole situation. But I genuinely feel that WWE knows that we want this match. Everybody wants this match. This is the best match to do at Mania. And I feel like they're going to bring it all the way to Mania in Vegas, and then out comes Oba Femi. They know you want it, and they're not going to give it to you, and then they're going to fuck you and give you 7 weeks of nothing, and then he's going to come out at Mania. That's what I think they're going to do. They know it, but they're not going to give it to you.
Well, I mean, that's going to be awfully boring then, I guess, when it comes to most of these Brock Lesnar appearances. And by the way, if you are going to do Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi for the first time ever at WrestleMania, why would you not promote that?
I agree.
Why would you wait until WrestleMania and then throw it out there as a surprise? Wouldn't you want at least a few weeks to promote that match?
Or face-to-face and some time on the microphone between the two. Oba's a good talker. Brock Lesnar, if you put him in the ring with somebody that's going to work with him, I mean, he could be entertaining.
It's a money match. It's a marketable match for WrestleMania. I think that would be foolish. I don't think this is a good match to be. I mean, maybe if it was a different opponent, but I think if it's going to be Oba, look, I mean, I mentioned the Madison Square Garden show, all right, which is March 30th, whatever that Monday is. I think it's the end of the month. And we were joking about Danhausen, but honestly, that might not be such a bad idea where you have Danhausen come out and you get some comedy out of it, and then Brock, he curses Brock, right? He puts a curse. I put a curse on you. The curse ends up being Oba Femi accepting the open challenge, but he puts a curse on him, and then Brock gets serious, and Brock's about to fucking kill this guy. And then we hear the music. And then Oba dances to the ring. And he comes to the aid of Danhausen, and we get a face-to-face with him and Brock kind of laughs, but he backs off. He actually backs down from Oba Femi. And there's your setup for WrestleMania. It's so simple. But I think that would work great. And you shoot the angle at MSG.
You sold me. I'm sold.
There you go.
Let's do it. Hopefully that's the case or something like that. But Oba and Brock is the match. I don't know what they do. I'm genuinely petrified as to what they're going to do with Lesnar. If it's Rollins, I don't care. If it's Knight, God help us. But make WrestleMania the best it could be, and Oba and Brock is definitely that. Jimmy and Austin Theory went to a DQ because Jay came back after he was attacked on Friday, and they attacked the Vision with crutches. So there's your tag team title match at WrestleMania. Get excited, chat. Rhea Ripley had an interview with Jackie Redmond, and she said she's going to SmackDown to confront Jade Cargill. Io says go win the championship. So they're splitting Rio for now. So Rhea's going to be on SmackDown, and Io is going to take control of the Monday Night Raw women's division. Next week on Raw, they announced that there will be a gauntlet match. You know, those gauntlet matches eat up a good 45 minutes of television, so WWE doesn't really have to do much there. Io, Lyra, Bayley, Raquel, Asuka, and Ivy Nile.
Well, it's not a gauntlet match.
It's a gauntlet match.
Is it a gauntlet match?
Yes. Number one contender gauntlet match.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know the gauntlet provision was listed.
Yes, sir. Oba Femi and Rusev is also announced, and that's all that's been announced for Monday Night Raw. Intercontinental title, that was the main event last night. Dominic Mysterio, he's out there with Finn Balor and JD McDonough. against Penta. This was very good. New champion crowned here in 17 minutes. Penta wins the title.
Well, that changes everything now that I know that it's a fucking gauntlet match.
Wait a minute. What did you think it was?
I don't know. I thought it was like a 6-pack challenge or something, and they were going to have all the women maybe in the ring at once, like a tornado style match or something like that. I don't know why I just blanked and didn't realize it was a gauntlet match.
It is a gauntlet match. So are you
not winning that? I mean, that's ridiculous.
No, I mean, I was not winning that, man. Come on. Man.
Okay, well, that changes everything now. Jesus Christ. I thought for some reason, I don't know why. Okay. All right, well, that's good to know.
JC in the chat says, stick to your day job, Solo. This is his job. Morning and night.
That's right. Only there's so many shows. I think my brain is starting to rot.
All right. Keep an eye out for our dreaded StreamYard countdown.
Oh, okay.
That just popped up there. Penta, he went one-on-one with Dominic. The only thing of note here, very good match. Crowd was into it. The way that this ended is the big talking point here. So we got Dominic looking at his Judgment Day partners on the outside. They're sitting by commentary. Penta apparently went shoulder first into the steel post. He was hurt. He was screaming, my shoulder, my shoulder. So the referee went over to attend to him. Meanwhile, the referee, while he's attending to him, Dominic went over to go tell J.D. McDonough to grab the bell hammer. So this has been a thing for Dominic. He's got the bell hammer. He sticks it in the boot. He uses it to win the matches. McDonough grabbed it. Balor gets up out of his seat and stopped him. Said, no, Dominic's got to do this by himself. So McDonough and Balor end up arguing. Penta wiped them out with a dive over the top rope. He set up for a destroyer back in the ring. Dominic tripped him up. He went for a 619. Eventually, that leads to a Mexican destroyer because he blocked it. 1, 2, 3. Penta's the new champion. Got fireworks. Got the happy ending, and Penta wins his first championship in WWE. Now, number one, Jason, this is the right move because Dominic hadn't defended that title since he's beaten John Cena at Survivor Series. He got injured, and then he showed up after the Rumble where he introduced Liv Morgan as the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble. That's the first time we saw him from injury. He hasn't defended the title at all. So the title desperately needed to come off him, and I'm glad it's on Penta because Penta, in my opinion, embodies what the Intercontinental Championship is, fighting champion, and I think it's in good hands. Number two, the tension between the Judgment Day is building, and Finn wants Dominic to win this on his own. Now, we got this. Now, granted, Danhausen cursed him. I don't know if that's going to lead to anything there, but, it's just a coincidence. Does the AAA Mega Championship come off of Dominic in the same way that the Intercontinental title did? And do we eventually get Balor and Dominic at WrestleMania? No title on the line, just grudge match. Maybe we get the Demon and we go there, and then Balor ends up getting kicked out of the Judgment Day in the process.
Well, I mean, I don't know about Balor being kicked out or just leaving on his own, but yeah, I mean, it seems pretty clear to me that they've been steering in that direction for a while now. Balor and Dom, it has to come to a head at some point. I just figured it would be for the Intercontinental title, but Penta could not have lost that match last night. I mean, I think they said, what was it, 7th or 8th opportunity, yes. I think, at the IC title.
7, I think, yeah.
My God, I mean, if he would have gone in there and lost again, how do you, where do you go from there? So I'm very happy he won. My concern is that it was less about him winning the title and more about the Judgment Day stuff. So I just hope they have some sort of clear focus for where they want to go with him in that IC title heading into WrestleMania. But it seems pretty clear to me the match is going to be Balor and Dom. They've been building to it now for a while. What does,
if it even makes it on the card, I'm not even sure. Does Penta defend the IC title at WrestleMania? If so, against who?
I don't know that he does. I'm not convinced that they're going to have all of the mid-card titles featured at WrestleMania. It doesn't usually work out that way on that.
No. I actually threw Javon Evans out there just as just make the show good.
But that's a Raw match. I mean, I don't think they see that as a WrestleMania match.
You may be right. I mean, if I had to choose one or the other, I would absolutely go with Carmelo. I would get the U.S. title on WrestleMania. If the IC title doesn't make it, I'm not going to lose sleep over it, but I would much rather Melo over the IC title for sure. Mm-hmm. So that was Monday Night Raw, and that is all the news that we have here as far as the major happenings for WWE. Now, if we're looking in totality of what we got so far up until this point. We have 7 weeks till WrestleMania. After everything we talked about, we got Roman, and that was a great segment, by the way. I don't really think we need to go over exactly what they said. All I'll say is this. Great segment. I think Punk won round 2. I don't know how you feel about that. Punk won last night's face-to-face?
I think it was designed that way.
Okay.
I think Roman had that. I think Roman had a better kind of sucker punch in the first one. And so this was Punk's opportunity to sort of pull his Punk card and get one over on him. And now the next time we see them, Roman obviously would be very upset and seething over what happened at the end of the segment when Punk invoked the name of his family member, his deceased father, which honestly kind of came out of nowhere. I guess we'll see where, what it leads to. I'm not sure if it was even needed.
It's going to lead to Roman mentioning Larry. That's what it's going to lead to.
Oh, of course. I'm sure it will. Yes. I'm sure we'll get a Larry mention. Although I think, didn't Roman mention Larry in the first promo?
I don't think so.
I thought at some point he had mentioned his dog. But yeah, I'm sure that's coming. So it was good. I don't think it was as strong as their first segment. I thought it was a little less than. But it was still good. And again, it's the one match. It's the one feud that's really carrying WrestleMania so far. Hopefully that'll change soon if we get Cody and Randy. But I guess the question is, you got 7 more weeks. Roman is off the show next week, but then he's on the show for 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, but what do? You do 3 promos back to back to back?
That's the thing. I don't know. I mean, it's very much like what we had last year with John Cena and Cody, where you had Cena for a certain number of appearances, and it got repetitive after a while. It was Cena coming out, but he was also trying too hard to get heel heat. I mean, that whole thing was just a disaster. So, yeah, I don't see Roman wrestling. I don't think they want to take the risk, frankly. And the way things have been going with injuries, I don't necessarily blame them. Punk was on a podcast or a radio show recently, and he was poking fun at the old wrestling trope of, can they get along? Can they coexist? He goes, no, we're not teaming up. Fuck you. I'll see you at WrestleMania. So I don't think we're getting one of those can they coexist tag team matches. Outside of a contract signing, you just get to a point where, yeah, they're going to have to get creative, I guess, as far as what they do. Because Roman is there in San Antonio on 3/16. He's there on 23rd. He's there at the Garden on the 30th. And then I believe maybe the final Raw before WrestleMania. So I think he's got 4 more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I mean, we'll see. I mean, again, the promos they've been delivering have been very strong so far. But you do get to a point where if they run out of material, what do? You do
the typical pro wrestling trope, contract signing. I would get them in the ring together in some sort of fucking.
Well, you have a pull apart at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You could also have physicality and have a pull apart, but I don't think you want to go to that just yet.
No.
So maybe the last time we see them, maybe you do something like that. But you still got 3 other times where they have to interact with each other, and that's where it gets a little dicey.
Well, there was a couple of spots last night where I thought Roman was going to end up winning this round as well, because there was a couple of bombs in there. Punk had mentioned that he brought the Shield up to WWE, and Punk brought him to the dance, and then Reigns corrected him saying, no, you brought the other 2. You didn't bring me. And I don't know how many people know the story of Punk bringing the Shield up. It wasn't supposed to be Roman Reigns. Punk didn't want Roman Reigns. Vince wanted Roman Reigns. Punk wanted Cassius Ohno, Chris Hero.
Yeah, and Vince was right, by the way.
Yes, yeah, absolutely right.
One.
Yes.
So
that was great. And then the line that Roman said as far as the reason why they brought him back is to entertain the 30 to 40-year-old virgins who live with their parents, to sell a few T-shirts and maybe draw a house in Chicago, but not to be the champion because that was above your pay grade. So I thought those lines were great. And then Punk goes and just fucking pulls out a double shotgun right to the fucking face. Going to bury you next to your father as he ends the promo. So just with that, the first one was obviously better. The second one hit as well. I think we're going to get a little bit more personal here. Like you said, contract signing, pull apart brawl at the end. That's how they cap everything off. I don't know. It's already built up enough.
Any AEW mentions?
Maybe. Hey, listen, if I'm WWE, all the gloves are off. I'd mention the all-in thing indirectly. I'd mention the Jack Perry thing, the whole getting fired. Like, I would mention all that stuff. I mean, fans would eat that up. So all that stuff's going to make the match better. But the match is already the biggest thing on the show, and there's nothing more they can really do after 2 weeks here. So I'm looking forward to whatever they got. I'm genuinely interested because we talked about the last 2 weeks. When you build up real tension, and there was real tension between these guys, and you play it out on TV, it's going to make for a better match. So that's what we got so far. That's the WWE.
Well, you know what Roman could do? He really wants to make it personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is something that Roman can do.
What could he do?
We have this gauntlet match next week, and we're going to have a number one contender crowned, and presumably we're going to have a championship match on TV in the next few weeks. And Roman Reigns could run down there and spear AJ Lee and cost her the Intercontinental Championship.
He could.
I actually think if he spears her, he'll probably kill the poor girl. So you got to be careful there. But I mean, if he really wants to get down and dirty, I'm just saying, like, it's kind of low hanging fruit right there.
Well, that's all like I was going to say, the WrestleMania card right now, the way we're looking at it, the way we're projecting it to be. Roman versus CM Punk. That's already made official. World Heavyweight Championship, night 2 main event. If we are to assume Cody's going to win the championship on Friday from Drew McIntyre, Randy and Cody, night 1 main event. I'm hoping for maybe a heel turn there with Randy Orton going heel. I need something kind of major to happen. Maybe Punk goes heel. I don't know. That was a question that my friend Keith asked me today. He's like, do you think Punk's going heel? Do you think we'll get a double turn with Roman and Punk? Do you see them going in that direction there and Punk goes heel? Because Rollins is back legitimately. He's a babyface. They can't both exist as babyfaces, right? Or can they?
They can.
Okay.
They could be babyfaces who don't like each other.
Okay. So we got those 2 matches, Randy, Cody, and then CM Punk and Roman Reigns. And then we are to assume that maybe Gunther and Rey Mysterio is a match. That's 3. And we got the Vision versus the Usos, 4. Hopefully we get Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins if he's healthy enough to come back. That's 5. Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi, 6. We get Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill, 7. Maybe we get Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre, 8. Carmelo versus Ilya for the United States title, 9. Women's tag team titles, multi-woman affair, maybe a fatal 4-way of sorts. That's 10 matches. And we got what's the other match that I'm missing? AJ Lee's going to have a match, Intercontinental title. And then we have whatever.
If they were to do Becky and Jessica potentially,
that's 12. And then Stephanie and Stephanie and Liv. That's 13.
Yeah, I think the maximum we're looking at each night is 6 matches.
Which I would bump it to 7, but I could see them doing 6 matches.
They're not going to do that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what that's where we may be going. We'll obviously monitor this on a week-to-week basis, but that's the current landscape of WWE television going into WrestleMania. We got an AJ Styles note here, and I guess we'll just very briefly go over what happened on Dynamite, which was not a lot because, I mean, I barely made do with what we were given last week. But AJ Styles, he signed a new contract with WWE. Now, this was the news last week. And according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, the new agreement focuses heavily on Styles' ability to mentor the next generation of superstars. Now, there was a rumor that he may go into the Hall of Fame and then give himself some time and then join AEW, and that was the growing rumor. The prevailing belief within the company is that he will be primarily involved in developing new talent, potentially serving as a coach or talent scout at the Performance Center. This move allows him to do that, obviously, with his son being interested in wrestling as well. And WWE is looking to get in all on that as well. Triple H recently compared Styles' potential impact to that of Shawn Michaels in NXT. Now, Styles addressed his future on a recent appearance of the Talkin' Shop podcast with his boys, The Club, expressing his excitement about this new chapter. He noted that while he has hung up his boots, his passion for the industry remains as strong as ever. Styles looks at his new position as a blessing that allows him to give back to the business that defines his life for nearly 3 decades. He says, and I quote, "I'm still going to be working with WWE. That's not going to change. I have these dreams of helping out young talent. If somebody is not ready once they get there, it's my job to hopefully help them to get to that point, to where they can do it. And they are confident when they step into a WWE ring. Being able to help with that is a blessing." Now, he did talk about the AEW narrative, and he told Gallows and Anderson that AEW is not the move. I'm retired. Let me give you something to talk about. So everybody wants to say, oh, WWE put him in the Hall of Fame so that he couldn't go to AEW. Guys, I'm retired from wrestling. Like, this is it. I make my own choices. I make my own decisions. I was ready. And that's all he said. So the narrative was, he put that to bed right there on that podcast with his boys. Now, I know Carl Anderson, Jason, I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but he was on Busted Open, and he believes that Styles is going to be out for at least a year and then get the bug again and then find himself somewhere wrestling after a year.
Yeah, he said he's going to get the itch.
The itch.
He used that over and over again because Gallows said the same thing, get the itch. I'm like, he should see a dermatologist if he's going to get the itch. But he's like, yeah, he's going to get the itch. He's going to get the itch. He's going to come back. I don't believe he's done. Because he's still physically able to do it, and it's in his blood, and just some time away. And I think he's going to come around to the idea that he's going to want to wrestle again. So they know him better than most, and they're wrestlers, and they know how wrestlers think and feel. So we'll see. Look, AJ did not close the door when he was on Stephanie's podcast.
No,
he left it open. Like, look, right now I'm done. But I don't think we've seen the last of AJ Styles in the ring. And I don't either, but the idea of him going to AEW clearly is not happening. TNA would be more likely if you wanted to have like a one-off there at some point. But again, if he does get back in the ring, I do believe that it's going to be a while. It's not anything that's imminent, and he seems very content to move on to whatever this next chapter is going to be. And apparently also like he's had some neck pain and neck issues. So you know what? Enjoy retirement. It sucks that we didn't get to see him in the ring with some of these people that we were sort of fantasy booking in our minds. Oh, it'd be great if he wrestled this guy and that guy. But you know what? If he's done, then he should be allowed to go ahead and do whatever it is that makes him happy. And he seems pretty, amped up about helping behind the scenes. And what a great mind to have as a coach and a mentor and somebody who I think can be very helpful to the next generation.
it is not wrong for people to think WWE operates the way that they do. And if the narrative out there was, oh, they put him in the Hall of Fame to keep him away from AEW, that's because WWE has shown you that type of behavior before. So if people want to reiterate that and kind of go with that narrative, you can't really blame them because every step of the way they've counter-programmed AEW and done things to harm AEW. So, I mean, I was in that camp, but he says he's retired. He says he came to his own conclusions and made his own decisions. That's what we are going to get out there and express to you guys and believe. So I do think that we will see him. And for the weirdos who's like, oh, no, I never wanted to see him in AEW anyway, I'm glad he didn't go there. Like, all right, man. Like, we get it. You don't like AEW. Fantastic. But, I mean, I'd love to see Styles and Ospreay. I'd love to see Styles and MJF or Styles and Swerve, Kenny Omega. So hopefully at some point, somewhere in the future, we do get at least a little bit of that. Speaking of AEW, Jason, we had Dynamite on Wednesday. Not really the best week of television for them. I think it was very uneventful is a good word to use. We got... What exactly happened on the show that even warrants a discussion? I mean, I saw you went 1 hour and 11 minutes. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck happened on this show, man?
Did his internet die? Like, what happened? Where'd Solomonster go?
People in my chat were like, Jason's done after 1 hour and 10 minutes. I'm like, holy shit, man. It was uneventful, but it's that uneventful.
I mean, look, there was not much to talk about once you get through, the nuts and bolts of what happened. It was like, okay, we kind of zipped in and zipped out. The key things were, we got confirmation of the stipulations for the world title match of Revolution, which is pretty much exactly what we thought it would be. There really was no big swerve or anything like that. Hangman made it very clear the week before he wanted Texas Death. And so that's what we ended up getting. They did the whole thing with MJF and the rigged coin, and he was going to pick a one-way disqualification or a one-way no disqualification match. And Tony Khan said, nope, because you used a rigged coin, we're going to do Texas Death. And if Hangman doesn't win, he can never again challenge for the world championship, which I don't think anybody honestly buys into. Although he could very well lose, but I think they would find their way out of it. I think I mentioned last week, like, all he would need to do is win the Casino Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if he actually did lose the match, and it's like, shit, he can never again challenge for the title. I mean, technically, there's nothing stopping him from being in the Casino Gauntlet. it all in, and
You know,
and
I didn't even think of that. It's a good conclusion there. Yeah.
he wins it, and then he's got a guaranteed title match in his back pocket.
Yeah. Look at that. AEW's got a way out of it. They didn't have that when Cody was there. So
No, there was no Casino Gauntlet when Cody Rhodes was there, so that's the big difference.
did you notice Kevin Knight kind of ruined the stipulation that MJF was going to bring to the table there with the Hangman promo? Because he wrestled Mansoor, and he said no matter if it's a Texas death match or a one-way no disqualification match. I'm like, what the fuck is a one-way no disqualification match? And then we get MJF coming out in the next segment saying that my stipulation is a one-way no disqualification match. It's like, did the guy just fuck up his spot and ruin the stipulation announcement? Did you see that?
I honestly, I didn't even notice. I guess I was sort of just like, yeah, whatever. You know, I got the gist of his promo. I wasn't paying close enough attention to notice that he spoiled it. So, so his segment went on before the MJF segment.
Yes.
The MJF segment went on at the top of the hour.
Yes, he went. He right before that segment with Paige and MJF. Mansoor wrestled Kevin Knight. Yeah.
Now, was that the standby match?
Is that what that? Yeah, that I guess it was. I don't know if they called it that.
Standby match shit is just, it's throwing me off here because that's not what a fucking standby match is supposed to be that early in the show. But okay,
I don't know.
Right. But no, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I enjoyed that MJF Page segment. I would have went about it a little bit differently. I would have had Adam Page kind of in the know already. Like MJF was going to fuck things up here and use a two-sided coin. As he flipped the coin, he catches the coin. Let me just see this coin. He asked for the coin after the fucking decision was made, and then all the baby faces came out to kind of bully MJF. Though I enjoyed the segment, and the match should be great, and hopefully that puts a conclusion on that before he moves on to what I hope is Swerve after he came out and explained his actions. After
Now, are
his
you ready to admit? No,
I'm not. No, I'm not.
You're doubling down.
I'm doubling down. I told this to Jesse on Wednesday. I still don't think he's is a heel.
So what would he have to do to convince you that he's a heel? Because if you'll notice, when Prince Nana came out, he was bullying Tony Schiavone, which is a total heel thing to do. And he's insulting the announcers. You're a bunch of idiots. Get up. And he introduced Swerve. Like, he did a total heel introduction for Swerve.
Yeah, but then Swerve went on to say exactly why he did what he did.
Right.
Omega said that Brody King's the most dangerous man in AEW. Swerve wanted to prove a point. And he said, nothing is getting in his way of the AEW World Championship. So beating you gets me one step closer to where I deserve to be.
And he beat him, but he went far beyond that, though. And he put him in the hospital.
But people were still chanting Swerve's house, and it just came off to me as like, all right, he did what he did. He did what he did. There was some, but he did what he did because he felt justified in doing it. Like he didn't give me like, oh man, I hate this guy for what he did. I don't get that vibe from him.
Yeah, so MK Pandy is right. Like, okay, so maybe if Swerve came out on TV next week and he just said horrible things about Alter Bridge, like, would that be enough to convince you that this man is a heel?
Sure.
If he went and burned down their house,
I doubt Swerve even fucking realizes who they are. But sure, yes, I would dislike him greatly after that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. If he came out next week on TV tomorrow, he came out and said, coffee sucks. And, fucking whiskey sucks and Alter Bridge sucks and all these things. Would that at least then convince you?
Yes, I would genuinely dislike him at that point. Yes.
Okay. Because it felt to me like you doubling down, short of him driving to your house and like keying the dark horse or something. I just don't know what he could do to convince you.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I know AEW is not shy about booking heel versus heel, but if MJF and Swerve is the direction after this, MJF's the heel, he's going to have a babyface to work with. I don't think Swerve is going to be a heel going into that match, no?
Well, going into the match, there will, against MJF, there would be people who would want Swerve to win.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying right now, in terms of how he's positioned, he's pretty well heel.
All right. Well, regardless of that, I know there's differing opinion there. I thought that was a great segment. I'm glad we got some explanation. He was fined $100,000 for his actions, so they're running with that narrative as well. Elsewhere,
I know. Hold on a second. I know exactly what Swerve can do. He can change his theme music to Linkin Park and start coming out to that. Have you listened to it, by the way?
No, I'm waiting for the nice weather.
He's still sitting there. Yeah, he's waiting for the nice weather.
I have it right
Well, I want him to start coming out to Linkin Park.
I have it here.
And then JD will finally admit that this man is a heel.
Yes, Sure.
That or Creed. He can come out to Creed.
No, don't come out to Creed. No, don't come out to Creed. That's just awful. Elsewhere,
Well, Swerve coming out to Creed would just feel very weird. I don't think that's a good fit.
Jon Moxley, he wrestled El Clone for the Continental Title Eliminator match of the week. So that was that. We got Gabe Kidd versus Orange Cassidy. Still trying to find some interest in what they're doing here. I cannot find any interest in it whatsoever. Kevin Knight wrestled Mansoor. We had MJF and Adam Page. Babes of Wrath, they had their situation with Mega Bad. And Lena Cross came out to, I think it was reported that it was an audible, and Penelope Ford is going to make a quick recovery. So it was a 1 to 2 week thing. And they sent Lena Cross out there to kind of cover for the quote-unquote injury spot. So I didn't really make a big deal about that. And Brody King wrestled Mark Davis. That was Brody trying to get back into title contention. He beat the big brute Mark Davis. And then we had that Mile High Madness, which, you know, I mentioned this on my end with Jesse. The more that they do this, like, how many more times can we see something like this and then feel like Anarchy in the Arena is special if they're going to do these miniature versions every 4 or 5 months? You know, it's like, come on now. I don't know how you felt about it. I mean, it was a crazy match. Everybody seemed like that they had a good time, but doesn't it take the appeal away from Anarchy in the Arena?
Yeah, I mean, if they start making a habit out of it. I don't know. They haven't really done this before, though, where it was almost like just a carbon copy of Anarchy in the Arena. They had the split screens. They played Tarzan Boy for half the match. I don't recall them having any of these types of matches that were not Anarchy in the Arena, where they were playing the music and looping the music. I think that was kind of the first time they've done that on TV. But yeah, I mean, look, as long as they don't make a habit out of it. I know it was very crowd pleasing for the people who were in the building. It was, you know, when you're sitting there watching the show also, and you're someone who's like doing reviews, you try to take notes on what's going on. Like it's fucking impossible because there's so much going on. Like it's sensory overload, you know, in these types of matches. So, but I will say, like, coming off that show that we had on Monday last week, I would much rather have something that's more akin to that than what we had on Monday Night Raw last week. As boring as that show was, one thing I can't say about, you know, some of the stuff on Wednesday last week was that it was boring. There was a lot going on there in that main event.
Yeah, well, that Raw was just overly offensive. So anything that followed that was going to be.
It was nice. It was nice to actually have the opposite of whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah. So Dynamite tomorrow night. We will both be live on our respective channels for that. This is what is announced. This looks like quite the exciting show here. Jon Moxley versus Hechicero.
Well, he's going down the list of all the Don Callis family members.
All the bench players in the Don Callis family.
Who hasn't he gone through yet? He's beaten El Clone. He wrestled Mark Davis. He hasn't wrestled Archer, has he?
No.
He wrestled Rocky Romero, I think. A few weeks ago. Did he?
Or was that Omega? Omega wrestled Romero.
Somebody wrestled him. But like who? Okay, so who else from the Callis family hasn't he? He wrestled Josh Alexander.
He hasn't wrestled Lance Archer
or Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, they won't do that though.
No, I don't think they will either. But he's going down the line of all the different members.
Jon Moxley versus Hechicero, guys. So get ready for that. Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin will tag team together against Clark Connors and Gabe Kidd. So I don't know where we're going with this going into the pay-per-view, but it certainly looks like they're setting up Darby versus Gabe Kidd again in some sort of gimmick match. Tekla.
Yeah.
What happened with Clark? What do you think?
No, I mean, that's exactly where I figure it's going.
Okay. Not exciting. I mean, this whole Darby and fucking War Dogs thing is just, I don't know, man. Please move on from it. Tekla against Thunder Rosa. Women's Championship. So thanks for coming, Thunder Rosa. They're in San Antonio tomorrow. So they're booking Thunder.
Is that where she won the championship in that cage match against
yes,
Britt Baker?
Yes, against Britt Baker, yeah.
Wow.
Thanks for coming. We're going to send you home and have you lose. And we need Tekla to win before she goes and wrestles Statlander again at the pay-per-view. MJF is defending the AEW World Championship against Kevin Knight. How the hell did we get to that point?
When was that made official?
On Twitter.
Today?
Sometime this past weekend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody went through gauntlet matches and fucking number one contender matches. Here's a championship match, Kevin Knight. There you go.
Well, now you know why. Now you know why Kevin Knight the last 2 weeks has been fed wins. Although the level of competition that he was up against, I mean, it was Mansoor and who did he beat last week? It wasn't any great opponent, I don't think.
I don't know who he wrestled the week before, but he beat Mansoor. That's all I need to know.
It wasn't anybody. I'll look it up right now.
No, it was a jobber match.
But the last 2 weeks, again, he's just racked up some easy, quick wins. Mansoor, the Beast Mortos.
That's right.
So he beat the Beast Mortos and Mansoor to get a shot at the AEW World Championship.
Chad is telling me that the announcement of that match was made on Collision.
I see. Well, that's why, because I was watching Elimination Chamber. I was a little busy on Saturday.
A little busy there, Chad. A little busy. And then the Brawling Birds, we got Alex Windsor and Jimmy Hayter. They will be teaming up against the Inspiration.
All right, well, there. So we're finally going to see the Inspiration since they debuted. First time in the ring on TV.
There you go.
It'll be an easy win for the Brawling Birds.
At least we got a great match with Kevin Knight and MJF. Outside that, I don't really see much happening there, but that's all we got for you. We appreciate you guys very much. We had 3,200 people in here on a Tuesday night listening to the Chamber Fallout and this week's TNT. So thank you guys very much for all the support. If you guys are in the chat, still hit that thumbs up. We are 96 likes away from 1,000 likes. So if you guys want to go and do that for me, I would really appreciate it. Super chats will remain open and are open. Get them on in. We'll hang out in just a little bit. Comment helps us out. Algorithm, we love being there.
You know, I got to bring this up before you get to the super chats. Did you see the video of the McDonald's CEO?
I did. I watched it several times actually, just to see how fucking cringe it was.
Now, my first question is, why is he eating lunch in what looks like the fucking back rooms? That's number one. You're aware what the back rooms are, I assume.
No, please explain.
Don't tell me you don't know what the back rooms are.
No, I don't know what the back rooms are.
This is terrible.
I wasn't even looking at the room. I was looking at him and the fucking miniature bite of burger he took, which was nothing.
Yeah, well, after he took a bite of this burger, the burger was the exact same fucking size and circumference that it was before he bit into it. I don't know how that's possible. It was very clear watching it, though. Like, he's well aware of what is in the burger. And he looked terrified to actually bite into this thing because he knows what it's made of.
Yes.
And I think that's why he didn't want to bite into it.
Yes, it's made of human.
But then there was also another video. I guess they were mocking McDonald's. They had the CEO of Burger King who they posted a video of him eating a Whopper. And I'm looking at this and I'm looking at the guy and he looks like, to me, he looks almost identical to the McDonald's CEO. And I'm like, it's the craziest thing. It's like they're created in the same like CEO laboratory somewhere, and they all look the same, they all act the same, they're all awkward, they don't know how to act as normal, regular human beings. This guy obviously didn't know how to eat a hamburger. He probably never ate a hamburger a day in his life. And I'm just like, as somebody who used to work in public relations, and I know they have their own PR team, I don't understand how this was viewed, and they made the decision that, yep, this is good, we'll post this on social media.
Well, he called his burger a product.
Oh yeah, the product. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. That was the best part of it. Yeah. We've tested it on the Germans and the Canadians, and we think that it's good for human consumption now. So I'm gonna try the product. And then he took the smallest bite, and then at that point, it's like, well, I've had enough of the product. That's enough for me for today. And I'm like, is this supposed to make me want to eat what the Big Arch? Is that what they call it? I think it's called the Big Arch. I mean, it's like the anti-advertisement. It made me want to do anything but eat the product.
Bro, if anybody's still eating McDonald's in 2026, you got some serious problems. Unfortunately, you know, my parents, when I was young and my mom didn't want to cook, they go to McDonald's and get us a 20-piece nuggets, and we share the 20-piece nuggets with some fries. That's the last time I remember eating McDonald's.
The nuggets would be the only thing that I would even consider. You know, there were some late nights in the city where it was like, all right, I'm hungry. What do I get?
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, we'll get a 6-piece chicken nugget, 9-piece chicken nugget. if I were to eat anything else from McDonald's, because occasionally over the years, maybe I have, my stomach gets very upset, and I'm like, yeah, my body just doesn't react well to it.
No, I was on a trip in Florida, and I got Wendy's because I had a long drive and I was hungry. Wendy's in Florida made my stomach so violently ill that I'll never have fast food again. Never. I don't know. There are better alternatives out there. Please don't eat the fast food. It is.
Yeah. So JD will not be having the big arch.
No.
But what you need to do when we're done here is you need to hit YouTube and you need to go down the Backrooms rabbit hole.
Am I coming across something I'm not going to like, or
no? I think you'll find it intriguing.
Okay. I
actually think I believe there is an actual full-length feature film that is being made for the Backrooms, but it's a series of YouTube videos. They're very well done. It's very creepy. The one I would recommend, just search for Kane Pixel.
Okay.
Kane Pixel, and you watch a few of them, you'll get a sense of what it is. But you'll go down that rabbit hole. You'll enjoy it.
All right, I'll check that out. Yeah, that was very bizarre and just very cringeworthy. That video with the McDonald's CEO.
Yes, it was.
Tyler, we'll start with Tyler. 199 times 2 here. I recommend 2 shows: Pluribus and Wednesday.
Pluribus is good.
Yeah, I heard some people I know that watch Wednesday. I was never into the Addams Family. So, what's Pluribus about?
Pluribus is you've never watched Breaking Bad or
I've watched Breaking Bad.
All right, did you watch Better Call Saul?
I have not watched Better Call Saul.
All right, well, one of the main characters on Better Call Saul, it really is the love interest of Saul Goodman. So she's one of the main characters. The actress Rhea Seehorn, she's the star of the show. So Vince Gilligan is also the mind behind Pluribus. He's the one behind Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
All right.
So he said, I want you to be... I think he actually created the show for her so he could create a show for her to be the star of. And what I'll say is you got to really have patience with it. It's a very slow-moving show where there are episodes where it's like, man, like, I'm just waiting for something to happen here. But it's very well shot. Like, if you know a Vince Gilligan show, it's very well shot. It's a good show. It just requires some patience. So unfortunately, I think season 2 now with all these shows, now you got to wait like 3 years before the next season. So,
well, I'm gonna need something to watch quickly. This coming weekend, I will be watching the last episode of Stranger Things. I'm on the final episode of season 5. So. Tyler also says with 199, please bring House of Glory to Portland or Seattle. Listen, man, I'd love Seattle. That's the coffee capital of the world right there.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have a lot of places that are on the list. Those are not next up on the list, but we're going to be hitting some new places soon. So stay tuned.
Michael Krause with $2 Super Chat. JD, Jason, OTS, TNT, let's go. Yeah, thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Mike.
Mel's Matt Chat with 58 months. Hey, JD, Jason, I am so glad that 2 dudes with attitude are back at HOG, OTS for life. Hashtag TNT. By the way, I 3-upped my Thriller subscription. Well, that's great. We love hearing that. Friday's the show. Thank you, Mel. Cody Snyder with a $5 super chat. Mr. Brooks and Mr. Anawai are somewhere hugging, counting their money, and laughing at the internet's reactions. As they should be. Yeah, I don't think there's any tension between either one of them now, but
no.
They're doing business. That's going to be big business. Saeed with a 5. I just want to say thanks for all the content from both of you while I'm fasting for Ramadan and abstaining from listening to music.
You're very welcome.
Glad to have you here, Saeed. Appreciate you, man. Arvin with a super chat. LA Knight and Rollins versus Logan Paul and Bad Bunny. No, I don't think we're getting Bad Bunny at Mania. You think we're getting Bad Bunny?
Doesn't feel like it.
No.
Unless he accepts Brock Lesnar's open challenge.
No.
He's undefeated, though, right?
Bad Bunny is, yeah.
I mean, he was in a Royal Rumble. Actually, didn't he get F5'd in that Royal Rumble?
I don't remember. You may be correct, yeah. I don't remember.
I feel like he did, yeah. But in his two other matches, yeah, he is undefeated in a tag match and then the singles match with Damian Priest.
Bossmo Jackson with a 199. Thumbs up on the channel, thumbs down on the chamber. I like the sound of that. Robbie with a 199. Gabe Owners versus Mike Hunt versus Dixon Cider. Who wins? I'm
Quite the triple threat there. Yeah.
I'm going Dixon Cider with the win. You guys are fucking crazy, man.
There was a clip. It came across my timeline on IG. It was a local clip too. It was David Ushery. He was the anchor, and they were doing a story about a dog rescue. I think it might have been. It was something like that. And he started to say doggy style instead of doggy paddle, I think is what he was supposed to say.
Oh no!
So he stopped himself, and like the female anchor, like the look on her face was just priceless. You could hear all the laughter in the background, but he's a pro, and he just, he kept going. And then like the last line was like, he was talking about the puppy rescue or whatever. He goes, yes, that's the place where I might be working very soon. And they all had a nice laugh about it. But yeah, that was going a totally different direction than I think he intended for it to go.
It's like the scene out of Dumb and Dumber where fucking Lloyd is talking to what's her name in the movie, and he's like grooming dogs, and he's like, yeah, I made it a bulldog and a shih tzu. We called it a bullshit. her face was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know why I thought of that, but that's a great fucking movie. Walker Style, did you see, by the way, you talk about the McDonald's, did you see this Jim Carrey nonsense this week? What'd you think of that?
I mean, apparently people have never seen someone with a facelift before. I mean, I could tell that it's him, but clearly he looks very different.
He looks very calm too. It's not like
Jim can't move his face. He's unable to express now because his face is probably Botox to shit, and things were sort of lifted up. But I mean, I could tell that it's him. There were people like, "Oh my god, I don't know who this person is. Is that really him?" I'm like, "Are you fucking blind?"
People went so deep into it, bro. They were like, "Jim Carrey's left-handed. This guy was signing autographs with his right hand." I'm like, "Oh my god, oh my god, man."
Lord.
Anyway, Ali with the 43 months. If you were the head of creative, JD, who would you have selected to replace Michael Hayes and Road Dogg in order to create a better Raw and SmackDown? Bro, this question pops up every now and then, man. I genuinely don't know. I don't know. I think this is all I'll say. Anybody under the Vince McMahon administration, I feel like needs to go. That's what I think. We need a whole fresh batch of faces there. Who are you replacing, Jason? You putting Paul Heyman in there? Who are you putting in there?
You know what? I vote for Solomonster and JD from NY. That's who I vote for.
I don't know if I take that job. Walker Stubbs with a 20.
Be fresh. I mean, we're not part of Vince's administration.
No, so. I know. Walker Stubbs with a 20. Hey, Mr. JD and Mr. Solo. I miss when wrestlers' themes are recognizable, where you can identify the wrestler by the first couple of notes. Now I either wait till they come out or till their name pops up on the screen. We feel your pain, Walker. We feel your pain, bro. I don't like it. Diesel 100 with a 199. Coffee Magnifico, Coffee Roasters, and Coffee Shop Chicago. I asked for top-notch coffee recommendations for Chicago because I'll be there Thursday. Thank you, Diesel. I appreciate it. I'll keep them in mind for sure. I got a list. I'll add them to the list. 88. 53 months. What's good, JD and Solo? Is it great to be alive on a Tuesday night in the OTS venue or what? 53 months member and county. I respect all the hard work you guys do. Thank you, brother.
I do believe it is.
Yes. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here for 53 months. David Carr with a 499. Jade versus Rhea will surprise a lot of people. Jade's best matches are versus bigger women like Nia, Tiffany, Jordan, and Statlander. Yeah, the Statlander match was good. The Jordan match was all right. Nia was not bad either. I'm going to give it some time. Like I told Jason, I think if they tell this story right and they give me some intrigue and some interest with these real-life sentiments coming to television, I think it'll be good. Sidro with a 5. What do you call the belly of a woman who's pregnant with twins? a 2-bed womb apartment? And why was the baker's bread green and hard? She used dildo. Oh, man. Dildo. Okay. Thank you, Sir John. Baltimore Jackson with a $4.99. The Death Rider stuff soured me on Moxley. Whenever I see him, I fast forward. 2 thumbs up on AEW. It's a hit or miss, but I partially like what I like. Matches are fire. Listen, I said it a couple of weeks ago after that terrible Monday Night Raw. AEW's putting on better TV in the last month than WWE's. So it may not be perfect, but it wasn't anywhere close to being that bad. Aviles with a 40 months. What are your guys' favorite championship belts of all time? My top 3 are the Big Gold, the O2 WWE Undisputed, and the AEW World Championship. I feel like we get this question a lot, too. You know what the answer to that is, Aviles. Just look at Jason's wall.
Yes. Well, the classic winged eagle. So that's always my number one. You know, the Flair Big Gold from the late 80s was pretty. I'm not talking about the WWE one from the early 2000s,
yeah,
or the one now. I mean, those were nice, but there's a distinct look that the Big Gold one had in like 86.
Yeah.
That's a good looking belt. And then the IWGP, the V4, the one that Yota Tsuji brought back. It's a beautiful belt. And you know what? The AEW World title is also a very good looking belt.
Yeah, I'm not really. Those are great looking belts. Don't get me wrong. I don't have any like emotional ties to those belts, so they won't be in my top 3. The winged eagle, number 1. I loved the white Intercontinental title, and I loved the old school 90s, late 80s WWF tag team titles. And as a side one, I'd choose the United Kingdom Championship, NXT United Kingdom Championship. I thought that was a great looking belt. Thank you, Avile. Sidro with a $10 super chat. Where do you find a murder of crows? Wherever there's probable cause. And what kind of jeans do a ghost hunter wear? Just a paranormal jeans. But yeah, Solo, can you convince JD to come to HOG in LA? Gotta meet y'all. I don't know, man. We'll see. Jason's gonna be there. Yeah, I might not be there. I got family obligations potentially. Bro Mobile, $2 super chat. The inductaker better call my boy Danhausen.
That was one of his demands. He wants a Hall of Fame induction.
He does. He got one of his demands, though. He took a picture that pointing the finger with Triple H.
He did.
What you guys see on the thumbnail. Jay Everington with a 2. Great to see Repo Man finally get into the Hall of Fame.
I would love it if at the end of the speech, before he walks off stage, he pulls out that little eye mask and just puts it on.
Yeah.
And then just goes to the mic and goes, you know, what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine too. And then he cackles and just runs off. That'd be great.
Sidro with a 2. What brand underwear do scientists wear? Calvin Klein.
You have to be a real science nerd to get that joke.
Baltimore Jackson with a $4.99. Do you guys believe in the afterlife? Do you believe in reincarnation, life on other planets, and demonic apparitions? I believe in demonic apparitions. The other 3, questionable.
I'm not sure about what was it? Demonic
apparitions.
Apparitions. Yeah, I'm not sure about that, but you know, life on other planets. Yeah, sure. I think there's life on other planets, but life is an interesting word. Life does not necessarily mean alien beings that are running around with lasers. You know, it could be water. It could be cells. I think it would be naive for us to think that we are the only place that has, you know, life anywhere in the solar system.
Citro with a $2 super chat. Be kind to your dentist. They have fillings too. Yeah, well, the dentist can fuck off, okay? I hate the dentist. Worst people on the planet, even though we need them.
Yeah, I think I remember reading that dentists have one of the highest rates of suicide.
Really?
I believe so.
Why is that?
Because of people like you who go around saying that they hate them so much.
That's it, man. Novocaine me up or put me to sleep or whatever, man. I don't want to know anything. Michelle with a 5. If we are getting Cody and Randy at WrestleMania, what factors would have Triple H make Cody retain versus Randy, getting number 15? And after the Vision, will we get Seth and Roman? Yeah, I know. We didn't really talk about that.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting Seth and Roman after WrestleMania.
You don't think they do it at SummerSlam?
No.
No?
No.
If Cody wins the title back on Friday, does Randy beat him for number 15 at WrestleMania? Do we keep it on Cody?
I don't see them putting it back on Cody and then taking it away from him a few weeks later again. I think there's a better chance that Orton loses, and that's what makes him snap and he goes heel.
I can see that. Boss Mo Jackson with a 199. What do you call a happy cowboy? A jolly rancher. Keith Smith with a 6 months. Who would you consider the wrestling soulmate for these wrestlers? Hulk Hogan, Bret Hart, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. I'll let Jason answer that one first.
Well, I mean, for Hogan, I think Savage. For what were the other ones?
Bret Hart, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels.
For Bret, I think it's Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm.
For Shawn Michaels, I kind of feel like it would be Undertaker. And the last one?
Undertaker.
Oh, for Undertaker. I have always maintained that Mankind is his greatest rival.
Yes.
So I got to go Mankind on that. Mankind was the first guy who came in who really felt like an equal to the Undertaker and was actually winning matches against him.
Yep. Everything that Jason said, I 100% agree. Ray Reezy with a 20. Question for both of you. 3 of your favorite storylines of all time and 3 storylines you'd wish to have erased from your memories.
The Mega Powers, to me, is still the greatest story. I mean, it wasn't nearly long enough, but, and I don't know if this would be number 2. I mean, there were other longer stories, but the Savage, Jake the Snake stuff, that whole feud.
Yep.
I mean, the Bret and Owen sibling rivalry stuff, in 94. The Austin McMahon, obviously, that's got to be high up there on the list. The Bloodline stuff, up until a certain point when it just jumped the shark. The Bloodline stuff was at its peak with, Sammy in there and everything. That was obviously great. So, I mean, that's 4 of them right there.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Bret Austin and what that really did to Bret over the long term. I would say the Undertaker, Shawn Michaels stuff leading from one Mania to the next and then leading to Triple H. I thought all that stuff was tremendous. And, I know the Jake and Savage stuff is a definite, but more recent times, Bloodline for sure before it jumped the shark. But, I'd say MJF and CM Punk and AEW too. I thought that was their best television ever. And 3 that you would have erased. 3 that you just can't stand to see anymore or mention anymore.
I mean, there's so many to choose from. I mean, Triple H and Booker T was pretty bad back in 2003, where Triple H was saying all these horrible things about him, and then they had the match and he just beat him. It was like, okay, feud over. So I mean, and that was a WrestleMania feud. So I mean, that was bad.
Like the one thing that pops into my brain is like Bobby Lashley's sisters and fucking Bobby Lashley jumping, Rusev jumping out of a wedding cake because he's feuding with Bobby Lashley and Lana.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what I mean. I mean, fucking Katie Vick is number 1. Okay, let's just lay it all out there. Okay, Katie Vick is number 1. Me watching Triple H, bone a fucking mannequin in an actual funeral home where they were being yelled at for making too much noise, said Bruce. Yeah, but I mean, there's too many more to name. That's the most awful.
Devin in the chat says, JDX, Jason, if he's going to be at Fanatics Fest this year in New York City.
I don't even know when Fanatics Fest is.
I don't think you want to see the prices for tickets to Fanatics Fest.
Yeah, that's probably not.
No.
But I don't even know when it is. I don't even know even if I wanted to go, I don't even know if I'd be able to go.
Thank you, Ray Reezy. Lord Med with a $5 super chat. AWPLEs are better for WWE PLEs, asking more money for house shows, not awesome shows. Well, AEW are pay-per-views. They're not PLEs. But yes, AEW pay-per-views are better than WWE PLEs. There's not even a comparison. Caden with a $1.99, no message. Thank you, Caden. Captain Solo with 56 months. Jade Cargill isn't worth the paper her contract is printed on. After Mania, send her to NXT or get rid of her. She's TNA material. Whoa. Well, tell us how you really feel, Solo. Bork Laser with a $4.99. When Rock and Hogan faced the second time, why didn't it seem like a big deal? You would think a rematch of that caliber would be remembered. It's a good question.
Well, I mean, the second time around is not going to be as big as the first. Usually, I mean, that's not always the case. I mean, Austin Rock 2 was much bigger than Austin Rock 1. But Hogan was the babyface, Rock was a heel, so the dynamic was a little bit different. And I just think you can't, like, it was lightning in a bottle that night, you know? It was also Hogan, I mean, they were in Canada for the second match too, but just being back at Skydome, Hogan had history there. It was his first big match back in like 9 years, you know, in that company. And I think it was bottled up for all those years. People were dying to just see the leg drop and the Hulk up and all that stuff. So the second time around, it just wasn't the same.
He also says, why didn't Hogan and Goldberg ever have a big rematch? I feel like that could have done big business if done right, but it never happened.
I think Goldberg got hurt. I think that was the plan. After the finger poke, I believe they were building to that, but I think Goldberg got hurt.
8K with a $4.99. Natty's new gimmick blows. Bring back Natty Night Fart, which was far more entertaining. You both are great, though, and thank you for keeping us all entertained. Well, you're welcome, 8K. Natty wasn't on the show outside of a commercial on the international feed, and I saw it, and it wasn't anything I would want to see on the normal show, period. Tucky Neutron with a $1.99. Buy, sell, rent. No More Lies, Broken Dreams, or Close Your Eyes.
I'm inclined to buy on No More Words. But I mean, Broken Dreams is pretty damn good. I'll buy on No More Words. Then I'll rent on McIntyre and I'll sell on the last one.
I'd probably go Broken Dreams, No More Lies, Close Your Eyes. Lord Maestro with a $4.99. Hi, guys. Just wanted to send some love again. Is this all a work with Jade? Because I don't think so. She got choked out by Shayna, and we had reports before. Yeah, I remember that Shayna Elimination Chamber deal. No, actually, it wasn't. I don't know if that was the Chamber or not. I remember she got choked out somewhere by Shayna.
No, it was. I think it was a tag match. It was Bianca and Jade, right, against.
Oh yeah,
Baszler.
it was in Saudi. It was in Saudi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look
again.
Yeah.
I absolutely believe that there is some underlying tension there, but I think they are working it into an angle.
Yes. What do we got here? We got Ken with a $4.99. Why wasn't Man Mountain Rock as successful as HBK or The Undertaker?
It's a very good question. I think because he couldn't do a kip up. I'm gonna say that was probably the reason why.
All right. Good old Man Mountain Rock, huh? Loch Ness.
I mean, I would imagine that probably was one of your favorite gimmicks back then. He had that cool WWF logo guitar. He would come out and rock out to it.
I didn't expect much of it. I thought it was, well, as a young kid, I thought it was pretty cool.
You need to see, you probably didn't watch this, but you needed to see him when he was Max Payne in WCW.
Oh, no,
and
see,
the
I don't know
tag
about
matches.
that.
Yeah, you need to go back and watch some of the tag matches that he and Cactus Jack had with the Nasty Boys. There was a Spring Stampede match, I think in '94. If that's the one I'm remembering, you got to watch that match. It's just fucking brutal. It's brutal, and when I say brutal, I mean brutal in like the best possible way. Especially those last couple of bumps Foley took in the match, just insane.
Loch Ness with a $50 super chat. Been rocking with you since 14 with the hate mail Mondays and your stories with the blue-haired lady. You got me through some tough times where I didn't even know who I was. I appreciate you more than you know. To Solo, thank you also. Hashtag Bree Mode. Hashtag We the Ones. Loch Ness, thank you, brother.
Thank you, Loch Ness.
That's a long time, man. Very grateful to have people like you here, which love our community, love Jason's community. Just great people, man. Thank you guys very much. Sidro with a $5 super chat. Know what's great about orcas? They do a killer whale impression. And broke up with a girl once because she wouldn't stop counting. I wonder what she's up to now. That last one was pretty good. Real Matt Joseph with a $4.99. Can you see Royce Keys as Brock's opponent at WrestleMania? I cannot.
Yeah, I don't see it.
No. Emoji Matt with a $9.99 and a $4.99. What's up, Solo? What is the name of the Carl Casey song you used to open the show last night? JD, let's grab a beer and roll some Phillies. Big dog. We got some catching up to do. Also, Matt says, now that we have the demo in, can we please get Too Cool?
Last night, it was not a Carl Casey song. It was actually production music that was paid for, so you're probably not going to be able to find it, but I will tell you the name. Let It Rock Right Now. Let It Rock Right Now. But again, chances are you will not be able to find it because it is from a production library. So,
Captain Solo with a $5 super chat. Drew McIntyre deserves to be involved in a WrestleMania main event. I really don't want to see Drew lose the title Friday on SmackDown. Listen, I know there's a lot of people that want to see him walk into Mania and then drop it there. But if WWE is going to give us the best WrestleMania card, it may be best for him to drop the title. Cody, Randy, Drew, Fatu. Tough to argue against that. Demoltiion, doggy, with a $7.99. Happy Thanksgiving, Soli and JD. My name is Mr. Burns. What's yours? Is Edward Scissorlegs versus LA Knight an option for WrestleMania? Answer both questions seriously, please. His name is Mr. Burns.
He's serious tonight.
Yeah, he's serious, yeah. So is Edward Scissorlegs versus LA Knight an option for Mania?
Oh, hold on a second. Now my fucking Siri came on. Hold on a second. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, Edward Scissorhands and LA Knight was that?
No. Edward Scissorlegs.
Scissor legs. No, it's not an option this year. LA Knight is probably shit out of luck when it comes to a spot on the WrestleMania card.
Happy Thanksgiving, Demeter Bully and Dog. I appreciate you, bro. Ghost Chaos with a $10 super chat. I want Fatu to interrupt the SmackDown match. Then Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu will have a match at WrestleMania to be the qualifier for whomever holds the undisputed title at Fastlane. Fastlane.
You should have just brought back bragging rights and do that instead.
I didn't know we were getting a Fastlane this year. They did Fastlane in Indianapolis sometime in October a couple of years ago. No, we're not. Listen, I'd love for them to use that 2-night format to build some intrigue, but I don't think that's happening this year. Mike 44 with 46 months. 6-way for U.S. title, 4-way for the IC title, multi-match galore, Mask Mania. You might not be that far off. I could see them totally doing that.
I mean, look, I think we'll have probably multiple teams for the women's tag team titles also.
Yeah. Michael Krause with the $2 super chat. The Mask era. Yes. If there's any era in WWE, it's the Mask era. Nima with a $5 super chat. Do you guys still think WrestleMania will take place in Riyadh next year after Trump kickstarted a war with Iran?
Full steam ahead right now.
Nima, we don't even know what's happening next week. You know, it could all be over. Yeah, who knows? Ghost Chaos with a $10 super chat. I think a great match would be Gunther, Oba Femi, and Brock Lesnar for a triple threat WrestleMania. Gunther pins Brock. We get a feud between Gunther and Oba Femi towards Backlash or beyond. You're going to put 3 guys like that in the triple threat match? All in one match? I don't like that. Gavin Deeth with 45 months. If Oba is not Brock's opponent, their Rumble moment would be even bigger waste than Brock's Rumble moment with limited Keith Lee. Yeah, well,
limitless.
I think he very much meant limited Keith Lee.
Okay.
Yes. I'm holding out hope that that's the direction. We'll see. Our guy Bader Mohammed. Bader, what's up, brother? Hello to the greats, JD and Jason. Do you prefer Randy versus Cody or a fatal 4-way for the title? Also, I want to say happy month of Ramadan to all my Muslim brothers fasting during this month. Heart emoji.
Yes. Happy Ramadan. I would prefer Cody and Randy one-on-one.
Me too. I think the story there, especially built over 6 weeks and then probably beyond to Backlash, I think would be great television. And they desperately need story over there. J.D. Ambrose with a $2 super chat. Brock versus Javon Evans. Listen, some weird, sick, twisted minds are going to enjoy that. I mean, I think we would too, but no, that's not going to happen at WrestleMania. Not yet, anyway. Robert Peterson with a $50 super chat. Hello, JD and Solomon. So love the show and what you guys do for the wrestling community. Much love from Philly. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, brother.
Logan the Inspired with a $9.99. I'm going to start streaming. What camera would you recommend buying? And JD, do you have a small green screen behind you? Can you tell me where to buy it? If so, love y'all. Logan, the best thing that I know Jason probably has some recommendations. The best thing I could recommend to you is look for the Elgato webcam. I know they sell 2 different versions. You don't need the more expensive one. You can just get the Elgato HD camera. That'll do great for you starting out. And green screen, you could literally look on Amazon. They range in prices. This one, I forgot the name of it. I've had it forever. I spent $150 on this one. You don't need to spend that much. You could literally get a green cloth and put it behind you if you got that type of setup and just tape it up behind you. That's all you really need. What type of camera you use, Jason? What would you recommend for him?
I mean, you mentioned Elgato. Elgato is probably top of the line when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'm using the Facecam Pro.
Yeah.
But again, you don't have to spend that much money, especially if you're just starting out. You don't have to break the bank on any of this stuff, whether it's a camera or a microphone, because you're not even sure when you're first getting into it if you're going to be consistent with it.
Yeah.
So the worst thing you could do is go spend hundreds of dollars on a bunch of shit that you end up using twice.
Yeah.
So just get stuff that's, decent enough, and you use that for a while, and then you just sort of graduate from there. But Elgato is a very good, very reliable brand.
You could even start out getting an Elgato microphone. I know they got their Wave microphone. You could look at that. Or if you want to go something within the same ballpark price range, but a little bit better quality and sound quality, look at Rode microphones. They got the Pod Mic, which is relatively inexpensive. They got 2 different versions there. One's XLR, one's a USB version as well. So you could look. There's plenty of options, bro. Again, don't break the bank like Jason said. You don't really need to. Chicago 4MBK with a $5 super chat. I turned into AAA after the Chamber. The crowd was hot. Every match was exciting. There was storytelling. I know, different product, but still. Listen, whatever they're doing down there is working. The Americanos have injected life down there. And I know there was chance of Undertaker. They were so appreciative for the great shows that they're getting down there. So they love what's going on. Evil God Dark Iba with a $1.99. Was WWE 2021 the worst year creatively, or was it 2019? I'm going to go 2019.
Yeah, I don't even remember what would have been so terrible about 2021 that it would have been worse than 2018, 2019.
19 was just awful.
Yeah, 19 was terrible.
Chicago, 4MBK, $2 super chat. JD, try Sawada Coffee or Cafe Deco, both downtown. I will add them to the list. Thank you very much, Chicago. Guardian of Chaos with a $20 super chat. Celebrating my 10th year with you, JD. Mahalo, bro. Next. Here's to the next 10 years. Love the show as well, Solo. Been on to you for the last 5 years. God bless you both.
Thank you, my friend.
Guardian, love having you, brother. You're an OG, man.
Glad you enjoy it.
Graps. 199. If 6 matches, Danhausen in between, greater than good reaction. If 6 matches, Danhausen in between, greater than good reaction. I don't know what you mean there, bro, but
maybe Danhausen can host WrestleMania.
Maybe. Blue Chew with a $2 super chat. The Elimination Chamber had a crate. Mania needs a blimp. It's one of his demands. We'll see.
They used to have a blimp. Remember back in the mid-90s, SummerSlam, they had the Stridex blimp?
Yes, the Stridex blimp. Yes, I remember that. Scotty with a 199. Call of Duty first on most search cheats on Google. I am not surprised. I ran into 2 or 3 cheaters in an hour of gameplay yesterday. Good old aimbot. Easy to pinpoint, too. Ken with a 499. The Chevy Camaro is a world-class track weapon, while the Ford Mustang is just a heavy, soft-riding rental car with a V8. Thoughts? Bro, I've driven in a Camaro. My old friend John had a Camaro before he got rid of it. It sat way too low to the ground. I don't know if I could drive something like that every day. That's just me. Tucky Neutron with a 199. JD, recommend good whiskey, bourbon, not too expensive. Easy. Gentleman Jack. $50 a bottle. It'll do the job. Captain Solo with $2 super chat. Bobby Roode should replace Bruce Pritchard. They're definitely setting him up for a bigger role there. Project Libertad with a super chat. Remember the one guy who got plastic surgery to look like Korean Eric Bischoff?
What?
Who is
Korean Eric Bischoff?
Who is that?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. You got to explain a little bit more than that. I don't know who that is. Crazy Man with a $5 super chat. I told y'all last week on Penta and Rhea winning. Penta in a multi-man at Mania. Io versus Asuka and Tiffany versus Julia. And Braun is expected back for Mania. Tiffany versus Julia, huh? Julia's going to be on the WrestleMania card? I find that very hard to believe. Eric M. with a $5 super chat. Let's have a little fun. JD and the Monster. You're a tag team. What's the name, gear, and entrance music? And also choose a finisher for you both. I feel like we get this question every fucking month as well. What's the tag team name? I don't know. What's our tag team name?
TNT.
TNT. What's the gear and the entrance music?
Well, I'm definitely wearing tights and not trunks. We're gonna cover up the legs, so we're not gonna be doing any like low cut biker shorts or anything like that, like Shawn Michaels when he refereed back in the day.
No.
And probably, man, I don't know, man. As far as I can't get any more specific on the gear, but I will say that the finish. I think we were talking about it before. I think we could adapt the demolition decapitation as our finish.
Sold. Entrance music. We have 2 different tastes in music. I'm sure it'll be something like guitar, kind of synth wavy, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what that really entails, but
well, I mean, there is that one song. Do we still use it for TNT for the intro? It sounds very much like the old Four Horsemen theme.
Oh, Late Night by
yes.
yeah, we still use it. Yeah, that's still the theme. Hopefully that answers your question, Eric M. Thank you, brother. Vinny P with a 499. It's 1,000% Brock versus Seth. What's Brock going to just allow his boy to die? LOL. I hope not, man. I hope not.
Telling you, it's a possibility. Very good possibility.
Furious Nation with a 499 and a 199. What's up, JD and Solo? Banger TNT. And yes, anybody from the Vince administration has to go. Get someone like Paul Heyman and Undertaker in there. And when do you see Batista going into the Hall of Fame? Well, he should already be in there.
Yeah, but I feel like it's just a matter of scheduling, just like with Cena.
Yeah,
they're going to at some point very soon need to call upon him because they're going to need that headliner. So when they have a need for it, if he's available, then he'll do it.
Yeah,
it's just it comes down to that more than anything else because just like Cena, he's out there making movies. He's keeping busy.
Clone Force with a $4.99. I don't know what I'll be listening to tomorrow morning while working on. Well, I know what I'll be listening to. He says while I'm working for Uber Eats. I also been listening to your podcast solo while working on Uber Eats.
That's very cool. Which one?
Oh, he'll be listening to us tomorrow, and then I guess which one of yours, right? You got a lot of content there.
Multiple ones. Reviews, the sound off, uncrowned. So many of them. You got plenty to choose from.
Furious with the $4.99. If Roman doesn't bring up CM Punk's dog Larry, I'll be very disappointed. Also, thoughts on NXT Stand and Deliver on April 4th. I quite like it, actually. You know, I forgot to put that in the notes. I actually like it. The fact that they're in Vegas. I remember watching last year. I remember watching the fucking show at 10 a.m. in the morning. Way too fucking early for us. So, doing it the same day is awful. Nobody remembers it. Nobody talks about it. It's the same day as WrestleMania. It needs to be Stand and Deliver on its own. Yeah. I'm glad they're doing it by itself.
It's just hell on the people who work the show. I mean, you got to be at the building probably then at like 5 o'clock in the morning for a 10 o'clock show.
It's ridiculous.
And the Hall of Fame probably just ended at midnight the night before. So if you're on the production team, good luck with that. And it's insane. It's crazy to think they were ever doing it that way. So I'm sure they'll go back to doing WrestleMania weekend when they're not on the West Coast. But if you're on the West Coast, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
The only thing that's a little weird is they're running the factory because they're doing the show in the St. Louis area. So it's at this place called the Factory, which if you remember, that was the building they ran when Randy Orton wrestled Javon Evans.
Yes.
So it's a very intimate venue, and usually Stand and Deliver, I feel like, is in bigger buildings, but it makes sense not to do it that weekend. It's just there's too much going on.
Yeah, I like the move. Hollywood Guy with a $5 super chat. What do you guys think of the Edge versus Kane story with Kane marrying Lita in a wedding and losing the baby? I thought it sucked. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was a fucking waste of time. You can put that on the list of terrible stories that I forgot to mention when we answered that question earlier.
Yes, Alex with a $5 super chat. When you talk about his family, you're talking about my family. Also, Punk called him a bald fraud. Long-term storytelling. Does Rock get involved? I heard this from other people too. You guys are crazy, man. I don't think so, but he did mention we. Who's we? Who's the we in that? Do you think there's any more to the we in that promo yesterday or no?
Maybe he was talking about the Nintendo Wii.
I'd rather that Wii than fucking Dwayne on television, honestly.
Yeah. We have a better chance of that than I think Dwayne popping back up on television for this particular WrestleMania.
Nathan Cox with a $1.99. Cornette, Miss Elizabeth should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Would Cornette even accept an invite? Who knows?
I don't know. I mean, but obviously he deserves to be in there.
Yeah, of course he does. Toya with a 5. Can you see Knight being special guest referee between The Vision versus the Usos? LA Knight as a special guest referee? We did that at
September, didn't
WrestlePalooza.
WrestlePalooza. Yeah, you could do that again?
Come on, man.
Can't do that.
Chairshot Sports with a 20. Thank you, brother. Going to my first Mania this year. Any chance of either of you heading out there? Keep killing Tuesday nights. As of right now, we both are scheduled to be there. Obviously, things can happen between now and then, but yes. So keep an eye and an ear out. Metabolism with a $4.99. If both of you could book a main event match between AEW and an AEW star and a WWE star, which two would you choose at the current moment? I don't know. It's easy to go with an MJF and Roman or MJF and Rollins. I'd probably, honestly, if he was healthy enough to go, I'd probably do Gunther versus Bryan Danielson.
That'd be a great one.
Yeah.
I'll go MJF and, really MJF against any of the top WWE guys right now, even Punk.
Yeah.
Get MJF and Punk, but this time they're on opposing sides.
Yeah. MJF and Cody.
MJF and Cody, MJF and Roman, I feel like would be another good one. Yeah. Because I'm looking at it also not just for the match itself, but all the promos that would go into really hyping it up. And like MJF would be that guy.
Yeah. Furious Nation, $4.99. People like the fan who acted entitled towards Oba at the recent meet and greet are like those who follow wrestlers at airports and hotels. You know what? I saw this going around. I have no fucking clue what happened. None.
You didn't see the original post?
I did see the original post. I saw the picture. I don't know what was being complained about.
What was being complained about is that she had met Oba for the first time in that photo. Oba was smiling. He was, posing for the photo. But apparently her thing is to get the wrestlers to do a special pose because she's got pom-poms. She's like pom-pom girl. And so Oba said, I can't do it, or I won't do it. Probably I can't do it. And he gave her a regular photo.
Oh.
And she tagged him in the photo, said, my first and last photo with Oba Femi. Very disappointing that, he wouldn't do the special pose. And she tagged him in it to put him on blast.
Interesting.
So she was not complaining about the photo itself, but she was like, well, why am I going to pay for another photo with him in the future if it's just going to be the same exact pose that he does in the first one and with everybody else? So I just looked at it. I wasn't even sure it was real at first. Once I realized it was real, it was like, wow. So she got enough shit that she deactivated her social media.
No. I'm sure that was a great discussion on whatever day that happened. So I'm glad I stayed away.
I'm just looking at it going, man, Oba must have done something really bad. And when I realized, because he was smiling, big smile on his face and everything. And it was like, oh, he wouldn't do the special pose with me.
Well, he's got a gimmick to uphold as the ruler. Not very ruler-like if he stands there with two pom-poms in his hand. So just respect him if you're going there, please. Venom Supreme with a $5 super chat. Hey, guys, Kal-El here. Jason said that Jade should win. Is that a squash or a good, clean finish? I like Jade, but she just is not good in the ring. Mustangs rule. Yeah, I think Jason said that Jade should win at WrestleMania.
I think she will win.
Yeah. Scotty with a 199. Forgot to mention Solo, bareback champion. Much love.
Rocker Steiner.
Vinny P with a 199. All 8 masked men in a ladder match for the super mask.
Did you put the Grande Americanos in there too?
Sure. I thought we were headed towards a Survivor Series match, like the Hart family versus Shawn Michaels and the Knights, the masked Knights.
Against the 4 masked men, and we have to guess who's under the mask.
Yeah.
It's like the Knights.
Chair Shot Sports with a 499. Trying to look up the Lonely Nights song you play. Can't seem to find it even with Shazam. Help a guy out. Look up Fire Ablaze on YouTube and you'll see it. I'm sure everybody's in the comments saying JD sent me here. Just like Best of the Best by Stryker. You know how many fucking comments you go to the music video on that? JD sent me here. It's like, who the fuck is the JD guy? They're probably thinking. Vinny P with a 199. I think Rock is out till Trips is gone. Listen. I could believe it. And Furious Nation with a 199. Well-deserved for demolition in the Hall of Fame. About time. Agreed, Furious. Thank you guys very much. That's all we got. All right, man. Before we head to Chicago later this week, I'm going to let you sound us off for another great episode 137 here on TNT.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to mention that, actually. So the two of us are going to be in Chicago on Friday. So neither one of us will be here for our respective SmackDown reviews. It's only going to end up being one of the biggest SmackDowns probably of the entire fucking year, of course. So naturally, we will not be around for a live review, but we do have House of Glory in Chicago. It is a sold-out show at Logan Square Auditorium. So if you already have your tickets, lucky you. And hopefully we'll get to say hi, or you can come over and say hi. We'll get to meet some of you there, but it's going to be a good card against Zillafat 2 against Bishop Dyer. And we have Shotzi and Killer Kelly. Charles Mason will be there. A bunch of other matches on the show. 8 p.m. local start time, so that'll be 9 p.m. Eastern if you are streaming on Triller TV Plus. And if you're coming out to the show, again, say hello. It's going to be good to be. I like Chicago. Chicago's been very kind to us, and I'm looking forward to getting back there.
Chicago's a great city. Jesse will be out there. We'll be with him. Going to be a good time. So make sure you guys tune in, man. Triller TV Plus. Thank you to everybody that hung out with us tonight. Great show, great discussion as always. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And thank you for all the super chats. We hit 1,000 likes. You guys did it. We had 3,200 people in here from my count. And we'll see you guys next week for another great episode of TNT, where we will discuss that Cody and Drew McIntyre situation. Will he walk out with the WWE Championship? and how WrestleMania looks after this coming Friday. Until then, guys, have a good night. We'll see you for House of Glory and next Tuesday right here for episode 138 of TNT.